That's the Queen's Park Rangers manager Julian Stephan ahead of this FA Cup third round tie away from home against West Ham. Rangers 11th in the Championship. It is of course Stephan's first season in charge, but it's so tight, Perry. I know you watch a lot of the EFL. They're only 3 points off the playoffs. Have you seen much of QPR this season? What can we expect from the visitors?
The only thing that's been consistent about QPR this season is their inconsistency, Crookie, because on their day they're as good as any team in the Championship, but they don't have enough of those days, and they've got no wins last 4 away games and 1 clean sheet, same as West Ham. They're on their 1 clean sheet last 9. You talk about changing the goalkeeper. Walsh is in today. Hamer has actually signed a new contract until the end of the season, because he was brought in on loan, wasn't he, just like an interim basis, but now he's signed until the end of the season. Yeah, so they're very much feast and famine. You mentioned they're only 3 points outside the playoff places, and Julian Stephan there, he hasn't got much to beat, to be fair, for QPR's record. Since the format changed in 1925-26, QPR have gone out of the FA Cup the third round stage more than any other team, 52 times. So I've got my stepson George, who's been a season ticket holder at QPR since he was 11. He's here with the 9,000 QPR fans today, and it's a bit of gallows humour, he said, because they're that bad in the third round, but they're actually coming here today expecting that they can win the game. And Isaac Hayden's been put back in midfield with Madsen, just for that little bit of experience, and Madsen's one to look out for. He's the one who likes to get on the ball and get QPR ticking and playing through the lines. So there's going to be loads of individual battles. Kone hasn't really worked for him, but like to Burrell, obviously the top scorer, is injured. Coley got his 2 goals against Sheffield Wednesday, so you can just hear now, obviously the Bubbles anthem is playing. So let's see if QPR can burst the West Ham Bubbles. Yeah, the Bubbles machine in full flow as the 2 sets of players emerge from the tunnel far down below us here at London Stadium. I have to say, there were a raft of empty seats around about 5 or 6 minutes ago, but it's pretty full actually, Perry. Probably a bigger home turnout than maybe we would have anticipated. Do you know what happens, Crookie? Football gets in your blood, right? And the West Ham fans, after getting beat against Nottingham Forest, you get angry and you most go, I ain't going, watching that load of rubbish. Then as the game gets closer and closer and closer, you get to the Saturday night and the FA Cup fever takes over, and by the time Sunday you go, when they're my team, I've got to support them through thick and thin. So as you said, Crookie, looking round the stadium at the moment, there are not many empty seats whatsoever, so this is going to be a really good atmosphere here today, and we just hope we see both teams are going to go out and try and win the game, because no one wants to go extra time, Crookie, do they? So both teams will be playing positive football. I was actually looking at the penalty shootout records of the 2 teams, just in case, because of course we do need a winner today. No replays in the FA Cup anymore. West Ham have won their last 3 penalty shootouts, so maybe that will give them some confidence. But as Perry said there, I'm sure Nuno Espirito Santo will believe that he's named his team strong enough to get the job done inside 90 minutes. 6 changes for the Hammers, for those of you just joining us, from the side beaten here by Forest on Tuesday in the Premier League. And actually the attendance looks a lot smaller than what we've got this afternoon. Mats Hermansen gets his first start since August in goal. Max Kilman, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Freddie Botts, Magata and young Ezra Mayers are the other players who come into the team. 4 alterations for Queen's Park Rangers. Joe Walsh returns in goal. He's not played since August. Isaac Hayden, the former Newcastle man, adds experience in midfield, and it's Dembele and Rayan Colley, the other alterations. So the 2 teams in full once again. For West Ham, Hermansen is the keeper. The back 3 of Mavropanos, Todibo and Kilman, so plenty of Premier League experience there. Wan-Bissaka back from African Cup of Nations duty with DR Congo is the right wing back. May is the left wing back, with Potts and Magasa in midfield. Jarrod Bowen, the captain, is one wing, Somerville the other, and then Tati Castellanos, one of the January signings, leading the line up front, as he did against Forest in midweek. For QPR, Walsh in goal, the back 4 of Mbengi, Dunn, Cook and Norrington Davis, Sato and Dembele the wide men, Madsen and Hayden in midfield, and then Richard Coney, the big money summer signing from Wycombe Wanderers, and Rayan Colley leading the attack. The 2 captains are just exchanging the pre-match coin toss. Jarrod Bowen wearing the skipper's armband for West Ham. Jimmy Dunn, the captain for Queen's Park Rangers. Roared on by 9,000 visiting supporters, the Championship side looking to add their name to a string of third round upsets already this weekend. On Friday night, we brought you Wrexham's dramatic penalty shootout win at home to Nottingham Forest, and yesterday we were at Macclesfield as the National League North side dumped out the holders Crystal Palace in arguably the biggest upset that this famous competition has ever seen. Perry,
Are we going to see more FA Cup magic this afternoon?
Yeah, there's a good atmosphere in the stadium, perfect conditions, there's no wind whatsoever, and obviously I'm again a certain vintage. Both teams playing in what I say are their proper kits. Obviously QPR coming in and playing in the blue and white hoops. The only thing is, good luck with the numbers on the back of QPR jerseys.
That is a commentator's nightmare, isn't it? QPR blue and white hoop jerseys, red numbers on the back, and we are miles away from the pitch.
You got your theatre binoculars now?
I might need them. West Ham United in claret jerseys, white shorts and white socks. They are shooting from left to right in this first half, and we are off and underway on this FA Cup third round Sunday. Queen's Park Rangers looking to join the likes of Wrexham and Macclesfield and write their names in Cup folklore. It's West Ham in possession down their right hand side. The ball is not back to the goalkeeper Mads Hermansen. It's a big day for him, isn't it? I mentioned the sheer volume of goals that he's conceded already. Hermansen, there'll be a few nerves, won't there?
Well, just got an early touch, exactly what you want. You know, if your goalkeeper just got it to his feet. West Ham obviously playing the three centre-backs we thought, but we got Mavropanos who's playing in the centre of the three with Todibo on the right of him, Kilman on the left, and at the moment West Ham pushing their full-backs really high up the pitch. Wan-Bissaka on this right-hand side on the touchline, and Myers right on that left-hand touchline.
Yeah, it has been a third goal at Fratton Park. Calm down, Perry. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2. Gabriel Martinelli has put the Premier League leaders in front against Championship strugglers Pompey, and over in Scotland, big goal there as well. Dundee 0, the leaders Hearts 1. So as it stands, Hearts will go 6 points clear of both Celtic and Rangers. 0-0 here in the very early stages at the London Stadium. West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers as Aaron Wan-Bissaka flicks the ball forward to Bowen, his captain, but it was intercepted. And then West Ham with some defending to do here as Richard Kone looks to come bearing down on Hermansen. He comes out to the edge of the penalty area, crouches Hermansen and collects possession cleanly enough. West Ham looking pretty comfortable on the ball early on.
Yeah, just QPR. I think that was the modern day parlance. Crookie, is it mid-block? Is it like a mid block of 4-4-2, leaving Coley and Kone just up front?
A little slide rule pass from Bowen up to Castellanos, and he feeds it out to Wan-Bissaka down by the right corner flag. He gets across in Wan-Bissaka, headed up but not really away by Steve Cook, the former Bournemouth man, and then helped away by Norrington Davis, the left back. A little bit of ball juggling on the edge of the area from Bowen before eventually he falls over, and it will be Steve Cook, the veteran defender, who clears upfield. It stays 0-0.
Yeah, decent play from West Ham down their right hand side, just a little link up play. Jarrod Bowen releasing Wan-Bissaka just there, Crookie. Castellanos laid the ball off to him, and what you want is Wan-Bissaka to whip the ball in first time. That you take another touch, that enables the QPR centre half Dunn and Cook just to get a little bit deeper on the edge of the 6-yard box. Good defensive header from Steve Cook.
Here's Somerville down the left hand side. I think he's someone that West Ham fans would certainly like to see step up in the second half of the season. The player who arrived from Leeds United with so much promise, but he's yet to score. Somerville this campaign.
They're just looking at their positions. Somerville coming in that inside right position. Obviously Jarrod Bowen and the inside left.
And it's all West Ham in terms of possession early on. Both managers, Julian Stephan, the former French Cup winner, now in charge of Queen's Park Rangers, and Nuno Espirito Santo on the edge of their respective technical areas. It's the Queen's Park Rangers fans who are generating most of the noise, though, as they were when we took up our positions in the commentary box around about half an hour or so ago. But at the moment they can't really get a touch of the ball. It's played forward by Mavropanos to Wan-Bissaka, who come in from that right wing position, but the pass was too heavy, and an early touch for Joe Walsh, the QPR goalkeeper. 0-0.
Yeah, just poor quality there from Mavropanos. It was the right idea. He said Wan-Bissaka's gone in that inverted right back position and just misses him by about 5 yards. Relinquishes possession to QPR, trying to play out from the back, going back to Walsh, and West Ham actually putting on a high press.
West Ham haven't won a game in any competition since beating Burnley here back in November. It's been a miserable run of form in the Premier League, a terrible festive period, and 7 points adrift of safety after that maybe unlucky defeat here against Forest on Tuesday, when a couple of big decisions went against them. That won't be reflected in the league table at the end of the season, though. It does look a tall order for Nuno Espirito Santo to stage that miracle relegation escape. As backpedaling there done, the QPR captain has to header ball away under pressure from Somerville on the edge of his penalty area. There's a balloon just flying across the pitch over on the far side as Hermansen, the West Ham goalkeeper, just plays the ball short to Jean-Claire Debo, the Frenchman. 0-0, you're listening to Talksport 2, still Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2, over on Talksport right now. Earlier today, Leeds coming from behind to beat Derby of the Championship by 3-1, and more commentary to come from Old Trafford. Intriguing game, all Premier League, between Darren Fletcher's Manchester United and Brighton. That's underway at 4:30. Here's the mop-head, Rayan Colley, out to the Rangers' right-hand side, inviting Koki Sato to come forward for the first time.
Yeah, it was really good play from Coley, actually. When the ball came into him, he had 3 West Ham players around him, just made sure he kept hold of the ball. It's the first time QPR have had any possession, coming up to like 5.5 minutes played.
Come on, you R's is the cry from the travelling hordes from across the capital, and opportunity here maybe for Sato to get across into the penalty area. He's going to try and take on Kilman on the right wing, and he plays it through the legs of Kilman, and across to help out his fellow centre-back was Mavropanos, and West Ham chip it forward towards halfway. But QPR coming into the game, Perry, really for the first time. They're attacking over on the right-hand side again with Sato. Plays the ball infield to Madsen the Dane. And now an opportunity to get the ball into the penalty area, and the cross from the corner of the 6-yard box is gobbled up by Hermansen. But good play again by Sato. Yeah,
good link-up play, Dembele and Sato on that right-hand side. Sato just making his inside right position, just runs off Mavropanos, who's not aware of him, gets to the byline. Maybe he should be cutting it back to the edge of the box where Madsen looked like he was completely unmarked with Kone, and he's just tried to roll it in between Hermansen's legs, go straight to him. Just the wrong decision, unfortunately, there from Sato, but good play from QPR down their right-hand side. 7
minutes gone. West Ham 0, QPR 0. FA Cup third round Sunday here on Talksport 2. The ball is played over to Somerville by Magassa for West Ham. Somerville running towards the penalty area. Bowen wants to cut back on the edge of the box. He went for the return pass. It was heavy, and it's cleared away by Mbengi, the right full-back for Queen's Park Rangers.
You'd just like to see when it goes out to Somerville on that left-hand side, he gets 1v1 with Mbengi, go on the outside of him, because all he's doing is coming into bodies, which suits QPR.
Wan-Bissaka looking to link up with Bowen on this near side. It was Madsen doing his defensive duty as he knocked it out of play for a throw, and now the ball back on halfway with Mavropanos for West Ham, unbeaten in their last 5 home games with Queen's Park Rangers, a run dating back to 2014. Of course, the two teams haven't locked horns too much over the past decade or so. Here's Wan-Bissaka hugging the near touchline, playing the ball forward. It's beyond Magassa. Castellanos, the number 11 for West Ham, tried to keep it alive in the centre, but it's squeezed back to the goalkeeper Walsh, all in orange, who gets good distance on his clearance. So good, in fact, he picks out his opposite number, Hermansen.
Do you know what, Crookie? Just looking at West Ham, just like lacking that little bit of quality. When it comes out to Wan-Bissaka on this right hand side, all he's got to do is roll it into Magassa, who's 15 yards away from him. Just got to roll it to his feet, and he misses him again by 4 or 5 yards. So every time West Ham get into the attacking third, they just lacking that little bit of quality with their final pass. All it is concentration levels.
Well, also that was one of the criticisms, wasn't it, of Wan-Bissaka as a Manchester United player, that defensively, one-on-one, he was just about as good as anybody in the division. But when it came to the other side of the game, which is important now for a modern fullback, the attacking side, his end product too often let him down.
Yeah, well, he's probably better in a back four, the old-fashioned right-back position, where when you're playing as a right wing-back, you're going to be in the opposition final third a lot of the times, and you've got to make sure that your cross or your decision making is good. He's had 2 opportunities. He had one in the first sort of 2-3 minutes where he should have crossed it first time, and he took a touch, and then put in a poor cross which Steve Cook could get his header away. And there, so he just missed. That is like absolving yourself responsibility. You've got to make sure you have more pride in yourself, even if it's a 10-15 yard pass and you go and you get it back. But just to miss somebody from 15 yards, that is just a total lack of confidence.
10 minutes gone here, 0-0 between West Ham of the Premier League and Queen's Park Rangers, 11th in the Championship, as Mavropanos heads the ball out of play for a corner. Hermansen tried in vain to slide and keep it in play, but he couldn't, and Queen's Park Rangers with the opportunity to send out the likes of Steve Cook and Jimmy Dunn for their first corner of this FA Cup third round tie.
Yeah, just really sloppy play again from Mavropanos. It's a simple header back to Hermansen. just like he's got a crash helmet on his head, just misheads it completely, puts Hermansen under pressure. He can't slide to keep it in play. You said corner for QPR on their left-hand side.
Yeah, Steve Cook, who is dangerous in the air, is lining up on the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a bit of pushing and shoving between Richard Kone and Castellanos back defending as the ball is looped towards the far post and headed behind goal by Rayan Colley. Probably should have done better there, having evaded the attention of his marker, peeled away at the far stick and just couldn't get the header on target. Colley maybe should have nodded it back across the face of goal rather than trying to squeeze it in at the near post himself. Yeah,
because completely unmarked, get himself away from Mayers at the far post. And he said there, as the ball just dropped to the far post, again it looks like he's got a crash helmet on, because he heads it and it comes off the corner, right-hand corner of his head and just goes into the side netting, where he should be heading it with his forehead back across the 6-yard box, where QPR have got 5 or 6 bodies in there. Really good delivery actually from Madsen. Just made sure he just lofted it to the far post. Big opportunity missed there from Coley.
Yeah, I learned a bizarre stat about Rayan Colley as I was preparing for this game. He scored 2 goals off the bench against Sheffield Wednesday and a 3-0 win in their last championship game. That's the second time that he's come on and scored a brace for QPR. The only player in their history to do that on 2 occasions.
Well, he'll be up in the QPR Hall of Fame, but obviously he'll want to get in that brace, and he's starting today.
Here's Sato coming in from the left-hand side. Arrows the pass right-footed out to Dembele on the far touchline. Dembele with 3 or 4 players to aim at in the centre. Instead, he's pulled it back to Dunn, his captain. They've got plenty of bodies forward here, Queen's Park Rangers. It's back with Dembele on the far side once more. West Ham with everybody except Jarrod Bowen back deep inside their own half, and then Somerville has won it back and immediately races over the halfway line and feeds in Bowen down the right. Bowen against Steve Cook, crosses into the centre towards Castellanos, who was flying in, couldn't quite get there, and in the end the ball is going to go out of play for a throw on the far side. But that was a quick counter-attack by West Ham, and it all started with some tenacious play from Crescencio Somerville to win it back deep inside his own territory.
Yeah, really good play from Somerville. Just make sure that he robs Dembele, and then he picks the right pass out to Joe Bowen on this right-hand side. Bowen goes on the outside of Steve Cook and just whips his right foot cross in across the 6-yard box. Just at Castellanos, he's got to make sure that he gets a cross done. He's got to make sure that he gets goal side of him at first, and then he comes across his chest, and he doesn't. He tries to get in behind him. In the end, Dunn does really well and lets it just roll across him.
Sounds like a lively old affair over on Talksport at Fratton Park. Arsenal were behind, they lead 2-1. They just missed a penalty with Noni Madueke, and a potential upset at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, League 2 Mansfield 1. Louis Reed has put Mansfield in front in that FA Cup third round tie. 0-0 here at London Stadium, and we've already alluded to Queen's Park Rangers' dismal third round record. They've been knocked out on no fewer than 52 occasions at this stage of the competition, a run dating back to 1925-26 season. That's more than any other team in FA Cup history.
Yeah, well, the bar's been set very low, isn't it, for QPR getting through the third round ties. But Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, will be fairly pleased the way that his team has got themselves through this first 13 minutes. Obviously, Walsh hasn't had a save to make in QPR's goal. The only sort of bit of action we saw, which was a threat, was this cross from Jarrod Bowen on the right-hand side, where Castellanos should be getting across the defender, which he doesn't. But other than that, everything's been very lateral for West Ham when they're in possession.
West Ham 0, QPR 0, and really, Joe Walsh, I guess you can call him the standing goalkeeper, having not played since August, hasn't been seriously tested. Nor really is Hermansen at the other end. Just that header from Rayan Colley into the side netting from a corner. Probably the closest we've come to an opening goal here. Don't forget, later this afternoon on Talksport, we're at Old Trafford, live and exclusive national radio commentary of Manchester United against Brighton. Still no real indication as to who will be Manchester United manager after this weekend. We know they've been meeting with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick face-to-face over the last 48 hours or so. Keep up to date with all the latest developments on the website talksport.com. You'll also find our rolling transfer blog, the window very much open. West Ham, who we're watching this afternoon, have already signed Tati, Castellanos and Pablo for the best part of £50 million the pair. They're looking to bring in more players, I'm told, between now and the end of that window. Adama Traore at Fulham, very much a target. And they do need a bit of injection, don't they, in terms of a bit of spice at the top end of the pitch as Norwich take the lead against Walsall. Matej Jurasek with a goal there, 1-0 to Norwich.
Norwich undefeated in the last 17 home games against Walsall in all competitions. Drew 4, won 13.
Colley's done well there inside his own half to win back possession and then release Dembele down the right, chip forward towards Kone lurking on the edge of the box, and that was a good header from Mavropanos back into the gloves of Mads Hermansen, who could do with a clean sheet. The former Leicester City goalkeeper who may well be heading for the exit in the last couple of weeks of the window, despite the fact he's starting this FA Cup third round tie.
We're just looking at West Ham in possession. It's very laboured, Crookie, isn't it? As you said there, talk about Adama Traore, you know, if he comes, you give him the threat in behind, but you've got to have other players that are willing to run in behind. We're just coming up to 15 and a half minutes being played. There's been one run from a West Ham player to try and get in behind QPR's back four, and that was from Somerville in the first 5 minutes, where he just tried to get down the side of Dunn. Apart from that, everything's been easy for QPR because the ball's always been in front of them.
QPR have got an issue here because Sato has gone down deep inside his own half, and I think the physio is being called upon, and well, it's more than an issue because they're going to have to make a change here. Queen's Park Rangers missing plenty of first team regulars already, and it looks like his afternoon is over, and I think that's Sam Field who is being ready to come on, is it?
Well, it just looked like Sato. It's another hamstring issue. You said there, Crookie, just went down straight away, just pulled up, put his right arm on the back of his right hamstring, which the physio's obviously testing and stretching now, but it looks like they've already made up their mind, and it looks like it might be Paul Smith. Yeah,
Paul Smith actually it is, correct. Honestly, these red numbers, nightmare, aren't they?
Can't you just send in a directive to the Championship and to the Premier League?
There used to be a rule, didn't there? Used to have a sort of block on the back of your shirt.
A white block, just put a white square on the back of your shirt, but that would be common sense, and so it makes your job a lot harder, so that's funny.
I mean, this is a blow though, isn't it? Because Sato and Dembele in the wide areas have started quite well. 17 minutes gone, 0-0. Paul Smith, a different type of player to the Japanese who's going off.
Yeah, Sato's very, very good with the ball at his feet, good in his 1v1s. So he was just coming off this left-hand side, drifting into the centre. So really disappointed from his point of view, obviously in a massive game like this, and in the long term for QPR's, sort of injury woes.
Yeah, QPR, one of those sides who will fancy themselves for a tilt at the playoffs in the second half of the season. 3 points off the top six coming into the weekend. Picked up that much-needed victory against Sheffield Wednesday last time out. Haven't had a problem scoring goals this season, but they've conceded 39 already in the Championship. That's the most at this stage of a season since back in 2019-20.
Yeah, I think they've scored in the last 11 on the trot, haven't they, QPR? But it will be different. Paul Smith coming on, he's more of sort of a defensive-minded midfield player, not as good in the 1v1 situation as Sato, so obviously he'll do a good job defensively on this left of the four in midfield for QPR, but probably won't be the threat going forward.
Yeah, no goals so far in this one, but Jarrod Bowen looking to change that as he comes forward down the right-hand side and then lays the ball off for Wan-Bissaka, level with the 18-yard line. Wan-Bissaka, a couple of step-overs, but is being forced backwards all the time, and now it's with Mavropanos, the former Arsenal defender, inside the centre circle. West Ham 0, QPR 0. You're listening to Talksport 2.
Just looking there, Cricket, when it goes across to Mavropanos, he's got to get, and then goes to Kilman. Kilman's got to get it out of his body quicker because Myers is unmarked over on the far left-hand side in acres of space. But because Kilman doesn't let it go across his body, he comes back inside again, comes back into Potts, and then they come back to the right-hand side, and then they put it out of play. Yeah,
it's a poor pass that from Magassa. Tried the 1-2 with Wan-Bissaka, but just smashed the ball out of touch for a Queen's Park Rangers throw. Half-time over on Talksport. Portsmouth did lead early, but it's now Pompey 1, Arsenal 2, and Sheffield United just equalised at home to Mansfield in the FA Cup third round. And a reminder, the fourth round draw takes place live tomorrow around about 6:35, so before Liverpool against Barnsley, our final commentary of the weekend. And for full coverage of that FA Cup fourth round draw, find out who your team are playing live in Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent as Queen's Park Rangers come forward. Chance to get a cross in from the right hand side, but it's miscued and sliced into the stands in the end by Dembele. Disappointing. In fact, it was Mbengi coming forward And that was the defender's cross, really, wasn't it, Perry, in many ways?
It was really good play from Dembele, just making sure that he gets away from Myers, then he just rolls in, and Benge, he's in a good position on that right-hand side, and all he's got to do is wrap his right foot around it and bend it and curl it along the 6-yard box. Then he actually sliced it completely outside his right foot and goes behind Hermansson's goal. Again, that's just lacking in quality. Both teams have just been lacking in quality, haven't they? They're both sort of very passive. You can sort of understand it from West Ham's point of view with the really bad run there in last no wins in 10, but from QPR's point of view, getting into those like final third areas and having beaten Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 at home last week, you'd think they'd have a little bit more confidence, a little bit more quality in their own ability.
Benge's just given away a free kick over on the far side for a foul on the 18-year-old Ezra Mayers. He's played 5 Premier League games this season, Mayers, and in from the start for this FA Cup third round tie in what is otherwise a very experienced West Ham team. Nuno Espirito Santo knowing just how important a confidence boosting victory would be as the ball is floated over the head of Mayers on the far side.
Have we started watching Six Nations rugby or something? How many times have West Ham actually put the ball out of play? Like Mavropanos there, he's turned into Johnny Wilkinson as a fly half, and he's just tried to ping it out to Somerville, and what's it hit it 15 yards over his head?
I mean, the simple truth is, Perry, the league table testifies this, they're just not very good, are they, West Ham? That's why they're down there.
Yeah, but you're talking about Premier League players, right? You can understand when they're playing against other teams putting them under pressure. You see, again, you hear the moans and groans from the West Ham fans, because when it come out to Todibo, instead of just getting it out of his feet and get it over to Wambach on his right side, he turns round and goes back to Hermannsson, and then QPR can then push further up the pitch.
I mean, they certainly haven't been able to enforce their Premier League quality on this game, West Ham. Yes, they've had the bulk of possession, but they've not really done much with it, have they? A lot of it's been sideways and backwards passing, as you say already. The home fans beginning to get a bit restless. We've only played 22 minutes.
But it's been crab football, isn't it? You said there, it's very lateral, going from one side to the other. Again, just giving the ball away, no pressure at all. Magasta that time.
Yeah, and it's Dembele able to accelerate over halfway. He's got Collie ahead of him, but he's overran it, and it's swept clear, left-footed by Wan-Bissaka from the edge of the area. The only shot either team have managed an angle was that header from Collie into the side netting. West Ham's expected goals tally at this stage is, well, 0. Surprise, surprise. And that isn't good enough against an injury-depleted team from the Championship.
Yeah, there's no intensity, is there, about West Ham's play? Do you know what I mean? There's no sort of pace or passion about it at all. And the only fans you can hear, obviously the QPR fans over to our right-hand side, make a lot of noise. The West Ham fans haven't had anything to actually get behind. They've turned out in their numbers here today, and basically they're sitting there like a theatre, aren't they, going, come on then, entertain us. Someone do something to give us a spark, that bit of, sort of ignite our passion, and nothing has happened in coming up to 23 minutes.
It's the QPR fans you can hear, because Nicholas Madsen has just placed the ball down for a free kick 10 yards in from the far touch line, around about the halfway point of the West Ham half, away to our left. Again, Dunn and Cook are lined up on the edge of the penalty area, ready to attack this ball in. Madsen with a delivery, and it was headed down inside the 6-yard box by Mbengi, but easily plucked from the air by Hermannsson, the West Ham goalkeeper, and he volleys it upfield looking for Somerville, but it's cleared away by Norrington Davis, the left back. And now it's bobbling around 10 yards or so shy of the West Ham penalty area. Collie is going to try and take on Todibo. Todibo steps in and concedes the throw down by the corner flag. Maybe Queen's Park Rangers just beginning to sense, actually, there's not that much to fear from this West Ham team. Yeah,
so they've just sort of been very well structured QPR, sitting in that 4-4-2 shape. Walsh in the QPR goal hasn't had a save to make. And now Paul Smith, the substitute's come on, and he's got the en vogue long throw.
And he's going to absolutely launch this towards the corner of the 6-yard box. Wan-Bissaka heads it away, and then it's met on the volley. I think that was Steve Cook, was it? Up from the back, not renowned for his volleying, right-footed and well wide for a goal kick for West Ham. It stays 0-0. We've played 25 minutes as Norwich go 2-0 up against Walsall in the FA Cup third round. Jovan Makama has doubled the Canaries' tally, so no sign of an upset at Carrow Road. Steve Cook probably not the player that Julian Stefan and these travelling QPR fans would have wanted that chance to fall to.
Well, Cook, I'd like to praise you when you're good, but unfortunately I can't, because as the ball drops out of the air, he's just completely snap-hooked his volley. Just make sure you watch it onto your laces and get good contact, and they say he just shanks it completely.
Even producer Sal, who likes his DJs, is rolling his eyes at your is it a joke?
Well, the thing is, we've got to keep ourselves entertained. Well, there's not a lot going on in front of our eyes, is there, at the moment after these first 25 minutes?
It's the tempo of the game, isn't it? As you've already mentioned, West Ham so laboured in possession, and it's still the Queen's Park Rangers fans who are whipping up the atmosphere with the floodlights shining, grey skies overhead, really echoing the mood of the home supporters. Again, they're trying to come forward here, QPR, but Kone just lost the ball under his studs, and maybe now West Ham can attack with pace. Bowen down the right, he's got Wan-Bissaka bursting forward in support, only Castellanos in the centre, and it's across right along the 6-yard line from Wan-Bissaka. Nobody in Claret could get on the end of it, and Queen's Park Rangers able to clear and maybe do better than that, because Dembele prods it forward looking for Colley, intercepted by Kilman, and Kilman floats the pass out to Wan-Bissaka, right corner of the 18-yard box. Bowen has come short, back to Wan-Bissaka again. Castellanos and Somerville wait in the centre, the cross is wayward, and Mayes is going to do really well to scamper and keep it in play. Once again, Wan-Bissaka's final delivery left a lot to be desired. Still West Ham in possession, still goalless here on Talksport 2 on this FA Cup third round Sunday. Giant killings aplenty already this weekend. Wrexham beating Nottingham Forest. You heard that live on Talksport on Friday night. Macclesfield of the National League North, they dumped out the holders Crystal Palace. You heard that live on Talksport. Mavropanos plays the ball out of play as he was looking for Todibo, and that tells you where West Ham are at this moment in time and why. Well, there could be another upset here.
Do you know what? It's actually gone now farcical, Crookie, hasn't it? The amount of times that West Ham have given the ball away in possession. They had the one little bit of quality about a minute earlier. Great little ball from Freddie Potts, just lofted it into Jarrod Bowen, the inside right position. He picked the right pass out to Wan-Bissaka. He actually did pick the right cross, whipped it across 6-yard box, and Castellanos, if a centre forward stands in between the posts, Castellanos gets a tap in, and he doesn't. Again, he makes a wrong run where he's run past the near post about 2 or 3 yards.
Well, they paid 26 million to Lazio for Tati Castellanos. He's only scored 2 goals in Serie A this season, the Argentine. I'm just not convinced that he is the answer to their goal-scoring issues. Castellanos, who before joining Lazio had been playing in New York City in the MLS. He began his career in his native Argentina. It's not the type of CV that smacks of relegation saviour.
Yeah, but don't you think that's West Ham all over, Crookie, even with their transfer? It's like mediocre, isn't it? Yeah, trying to, hope that a centre forward's got 2 goals all season and cost you 25 million quid is going to score you half a dozen between 10 goals between now and the end of the season.
What are they going to do with them in the Championship next season if they go down? Would be the bigger question for me.
Send him out on loan.
Yeah, probably back to Italy. That's what tends to happen, isn't it? It's just rank poor recruitment for me, and that's been the story for West Ham. Real muddled thinking in terms of the players they sign and also the managers they've hired, as Perry was articulating before the first ball was kicked in. 0-0 with 29 gone. Magassa, again, I'm not exactly sure what he brings to the party. Plays the ball out to the right with Todibo, and then Todibo back to Wan-Bissaka again. It's all very one-dimensional from West Ham United. QPR with their 2 banks of 4 camped behind the ball, and really the goalkeeper Walsh has still not had a save to make.
Do you know what it's like? It's like a training game, Crookie, where you have functional play.
Here's Castellanos, little layoff though, into Bowen, tries to cut it back for the Argentine, didn't quite get there, done with a block, and it's cleared now to Mavropanos in the centre circle. I mean, the only time you really sense that something positive could happen is when they get Jarrod Bowen on the ball. Yeah,
just there. I think he was on the left-hand side, Crookie, to take his shot on, but he didn't. It was on his weaker right foot.
And he's had his pocket picked there by Smith Bowen, and Queen's Park Rangers coming forward. Richard Kone down the left-hand side. He's got Colley and Dembele to his right. Instead, he just knocks it back into midfield for Isaac Hayden. And now Mbengi is urged forward from the back, and, well, he's been wiped out 7 yards shy of the penalty area. Mbengi, it was Freddie Potts with a challenge. I think he'd actually overrun the ball, and I think Potts has fallen for it. I'm not sure that he needed to go diving in, Perry.
And he's lucky he hasn't got a yellow card there, to be fair. He said it was a Tonka touch there from Mbenge. When it came to him, he looked like he had diver's boots on. Didn't he put it about 4 or 5 yards away from him? But he had the pace just to get to the ball and tight past Freddie Potts, and he's actually channeled his inner dad, because that's what Steve Potts was very good at, just leaving his foot in, and he just put his foot on the top of Mbenge, giving away a cheap free kick in a really dangerous position for QPR on their right-hand side.
And again, Steve Cook and Jimmy Dunn have come forward from the back. Dunn, who's got 3 goals this season. Cook yet to find the back of the net. Now would be a good time for him to end that run. Mads Hermansson, the West Ham goalkeeper, is at the moment leaned against his left-hand post, as this ball is, I think, going to be whipped in by Amadou Mbenge, the fullback, probably to around about the penalty spot, and there are a trio of QPR players lined up at the far post ready to attack it. Oh, that is woeful. That is absolutely terrible. And you asked if we were playing rugby union earlier. I mean, he's gone between the posts there. Absolutely awful.
To be fair, it's a good three-pointer.
It's a conversion, isn't it?
And he has a bit of a temerity just to look down at the pitch as if to say there was a bit of a divot. You think, no, mate, it's the stationary rule, number 1. And number 2, you don't get divots on the modern-day pitches anymore, unless it's a mole or a sprinkler head that pops up. All he's got to do there is just feed it. All he has to do is feed it in. Just feed it in with your left foot. Just bend it in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, and make Hermansson make a decision. And he smashes it over the crossbar for a conversion.
You haven't got any plans tonight, have you? Because I already feel this one might be going the distance in terms of extra time and pens. Here's Somerville, though, into the penalty area. Pirouettes away and then lashes his shot across the face of goal. And I think the goalkeeper, Joe Walsh, got a hand on that and turned it over the crossbar. It may well have been creeping in. It's the first save that the Queen's Park Rangers keeper has had to make.
Well, Somerville says, don't leave me this way. In the left-hand side of the 18-yard box, he cuts in on his right foot and he's just trying to bend it in Walsh's top left-hand corner. It's a brilliant save from the QPR goalkeeper with his right hand, palms it over the crossbar, corner for West Ham on their right-hand side.
And I think with 32 minutes gone, it's West Ham's first corner of this first half. 0-0 as the ball is whipped in by Bowen. The goalkeeper flaps at it and somehow managed to gather almost on his goal line. A wicked delivery from Bowen, and that almost wrong-footed Walsh, the keeper. 0-0, but West Ham finally creating chances.
Well, Walsh, as he says, life's been good to me because he actually flaps at the first cross that comes in. It's a very, very good corner from Jarrod Bowen with his left foot. He's just bent it in underneath the crossbar.
And coming forward at the other end, though, Queen's Park Rangers. Norrington Davis with a chance to cross from the left-hand side. It's cushioned down and away by Mavropanos. Then Magassa on the edge of the penalty area helps it back to Debo. They're trying to play their way out here, West Ham. Julian Stephan, the Queen's Park Rangers manager, very animated, wanted his side to press high, and in the end they've won a throw-in right in front of that giant technical area down below us here at London Stadium. Just watching a replay, did flap at it Walsh, the goalkeeper, and Kilman it was with a meek header straight into Walsh's gloves.
Yeah, he should be catching it over top of his captain Dunn, and what he does, he flaps at it, just pushes it up in the air, it comes to Kilman. Kilman can't quite get the right perch on his header, and in the end Walsh is able to just retrieve the ball. You said about Julian Stephan, the QPR manager. I think he's telling his team he wants them to be more aggressive and, as you say, push further up the pitch and put West Ham under more pressure. A
little bit of play there by Smith to evade the challenges of a couple of West Ham players. Then Potts on the slide, wins it back, and here's Bowen down the right for West Ham. 0-0 with 11 minutes to play in the first half. Somerville has had his heels clipped, and it will be a free kick. Isaac Hayden with a clumsy challenge, and it's a free kick for West Ham, a yard in for the touchline, only about 6 yards shy of the penalty area.
Yeah, just a cheap free kick given away from Isaac Hayden there, because he realised he ain't got the pace of Somerville. Just a good touch out of his feet. Thought he was going to be away down that right hand touch line. Hayden just puts 2 hands in his back, pushes him over. Again, what you're looking for now on this right hand side, looks like Freddie Potts is going to take the free kick. His captain Jarrod Bowen just walking over to him, and Jarrod Bowen just going to say to him, all you got to do is just bend it with your instep of your right foot in between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box, and give us something to go and attack. It's that simple.
Potts puts his left arm in the air, prepares to deliver this towards the far post. He's got plenty of loft on it, and that asked an awful lot really of his teammates. It was Max Kilman trying to keep it alive, but in the end the ball loops off his head and tamely out for a goal kick. He just put far too much height on that, didn't he, Freddie Potts?
Do you know what that's crying out for? James Ward-Prowse.
I don't understand the Ward-Prowse situation. Obviously he was on loan at Nottingham Forest under Nuno last season, didn't get much of a look in there. You sort of feared the writing could be on the wall when Nuno took this job. He left him out of the squad completely for his first game in charge away at Everton. We've not seen Ward-Prowse since, but yes, you mentioned about his abilities from set pieces, but what you really want in a relegation battle is character, and James Ward-Prowse over the course of his career has proven himself to be a character and a leader. So why would you just ignore him?
Absolutely. Sometimes, managers' ego gets in the way where they don't really prove wrong. So he's already made up his mind about James Ward-Prowse. But when you've got a team that's struggling at the bottom like West Ham are, you want a player that goes and gets the ball, which James Ward-Prowse does. Maybe as he's got a little bit older, his mobility isn't, for what you'd want in
He was never quick though, was he? He was never renowned for pace.
But what he'll do is he'll sit as one of the two, and when you're at the bottom, hopefully you get your free kicks and set pieces, because there's no creativity from West Ham at all, is there today? None whatsoever. When Jarrod Bowen gets on it, maybe, a little 1v1, or someone who had that little curl he's had where he cut him from the left-hand side. Apart from that, everything is flat.
The trouble is, you look at this West Ham team, and yes, they were better against Forest, maybe in the final scoreline in midweek, but they just don't look like a set of players capable of going on the kind of run they're going to need to make up this 7-point deficit to safety. They go to Tottenham in the Premier League next Saturday. Obviously Thomas Frank under big pressure going into that game. Then it's Sunderland here at home. Sunderland to me look more than capable of going away with the points, and then Chelsea away. You can't really make a case for West Ham winning there, so it's hard to see where the next victory is coming from for Nuno Espirito Santo's men. That's why this FA Cup third round tie is so important, just in terms of building confidence. But apart from the one save that Joe Walsh has made from the curling effort from Somerville, QPR have barely been tested in the opening 37 minutes. 0-0. It's West Ham who have the ball over on their far left-hand side. Kilman up from the back, just knocks it back to Mavropanos. That's probably been the pass they've made the most, back to Mavropanos inside the centre circle in this first half. Here's Wan-Bissaka now, plays it down the line for Todibo. Todibo with a cross, hammers it against Rayan Colley, and that'll go behind for another West Ham corner.
Yeah, Colley just doing his defensive duties for QPR, making sure he just tracks the run of Todibo, just tries to whip the cross in. Good block from Colley. Jarrod Bowen will just have a little jog over to this right-hand side. He'll have an in-swing with his left foot. The last one he just put right underneath Walsh's crossbar. He'll be looking to do exactly the same with this one.
Yeah, John Clare Todibo and Mavropanos have been the West Ham players who received more passes than anybody else. Bowen whips it in again towards the far post, over the goalkeeper, and headed off the line this time, I think, by Dembele. And players been halted here because there's a Queen's Park Rangers player down. In fact, it's a West Ham player down. Mavropanos holding his head, but that was another delivery. The goalkeeper, Joe Walsh, got caught underneath, and he was grateful, I think, for Dembele for being able to nod it clear.
Well, Walsh at the moment is doing his best impression of Dracula, because he doesn't like crosses. As they're coming in again, he gets himself just all mixed up with the two players in front of him. This ball goes completely over his head, and to be fair, as you said there, Crookie and Benge on the far post, make sure he just stays on the far post.
I think it was actually Richard Kone, the striker,
and he heads it off the line.
Who headed it off the line. But again, we'll blame the red numbers on the back of these blue and white jerseys. We have got a stoppage in play here because Mavropanos is down in need of treatment. Julian Stefan, the Queen's Park Rangers manager, replaced Marti Cifuentes in the summer, is taking the opportunity just to issue some instructions to Paul Smith, the early replacement for the injured Sato. Elsewhere, they are back underway at Fratton Park over on Talksport. It's still Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2. Pompey were ahead early. Colby Bishop, after only 3 minutes, cancelled out by an own goal from Andre Dezelle. And then Gabriel Martinelli putting the Premier League leaders in front. In fact, we're hearing there's been a third goal for Arsenal in that game. It's now Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 3. So Perry's old club safely through, it seems, into round 4. As are Leeds, they beat Derby 3-1 earlier today on Talksport, and Hearts down to 10 men lead Dundee by 1-0. As it stands, they'll be 6 points clear in Scotland. Elsewhere, Hull 0, Blackburn 0 in the FA Cup third round. Norwich 2 up on Walsall. Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 1. The League 2 side did take the lead early there. Swansea 0, West Brom 0. And as you've been hearing here at London Stadium, where players still not restarted It is West Ham 0, QPR 0, and Mavropanos looks in a bit of trouble, does he, Perry? Because a stretcher has been called upon.
Well, it's never a good sign when the player just lies prone on the turf where he hasn't moved. It just looked like he got himself in front of Walsh, and Walsh sort of pushed him out the way when he missed the ball completely. And then as soon as he went to the floor, as I said, he wasn't beating the floor with his fist or his hand. So the car's just gone round to where Mavropanos is with the stretcher on it, and he said there it's...
Well, just looking at the bench, it looks like it might be the 18-year-old Eridas Golambekis who is being ready to come on. In fact, no, he was getting some instructions, but it's Pablo. So that is going to be a forward replacing a centre-back. Although Golambekis is still being spoken to, Perry, and is being shown some images on an iPad. Either way, it looks like West Ham are going to be forced into a change here. That third Arsenal goal, a second on the afternoon for Gabriel Martinelli. More FA Cup third round action coming your way tomorrow, live on Talksport. Liverpool against Barnsley. That's Premier League against League One. On Tuesday night, we've got the first of the Carabao Cup semi-finals live on Talksport. The first leg of Newcastle against Manchester City over on Talksport 2. It's a 7 o'clock kick-off between Bolton and Port Vale in the last 16 of the Virtue Trophy. On Wednesday on Talksport, Chelsea-Arsenal in a London derby, first leg of their Carabao Cup semi-final. And then on Friday, it's West Brom against Middlesbrough from the Championship. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off live on Talksport 2. And we've got the Manchester derby this weekend. I'm not sure who'll be in charge yet. Manchester United against Manchester City. That is a 12:30 kick-off live and exclusive on Talksport. And we've got a long delay here as Mavropanos is still receiving treatment. It is going to be Pablo to come on. Another of West Ham's summer signings. He got 27 minutes against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League on Tuesday in that 2-1 defeat, side from Gil Vicente over in Portugal. 10 goals he scored in the first half of the Portuguese season. But it does mean, Perry, we're going to see a change in system for West Ham.
Yeah, they'll go to a flat back four. Obviously, they'll have Kilman and Todibo as the centre halves. Mayo just go into like a normal left back position, Van Bzika in the right back position. This, say, just...
The bigger picture, though, is they've lost a centre-back for a crucial period of the Premier League season. It doesn't look like Mavropanos is going to recover anytime quickly. No.
Say both teams have unfortunately lost a player for injury. So Sato going off, in the first 20 minutes for QPR, which looks like a hamstring injury. Not really sure what's happened to sort of Mavropanos. We just, hope that, it isn't too serious.
Well, we haven't seen a replay as yet. It looked innocuous enough. It came from that corner from Bowen, whipped in over the head of the goalkeeper. Walsh headed off the line by Richard Kone, and that was when Mavropanos went down. But he's still very carefully being helped onto the stretcher, a bright orange stretcher that was driven onto the pitch by a golf buggy type vehicle. One or two of the West Ham players just jogging on the spot to keep warm. The Queen's Park Rangers players, Dembele and Rayan Colley, just passing the ball amongst themselves. And Julian Stefan again is in conversation with Paul Smith over on this near side as Pablo waits to come on, the number 19 wearing bright orange footwear for West Ham United. Mansfield back in front at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 1, League 2, Mansfield 2, and Louis Reed has got his second of the afternoon, so an upset potentially in Sheffield in the FA Cup third round.
To be fair, Sheffield United's record have been pretty good against teams larger than them in the FA Cup. Progressed from 19 last 20 FA Cup ties against teams from a lower division. Lost against Barnet 2018-2019 in the third round, 1-0. So he said there could be a big shock on the cards.
You're pretty content with how Arsenal are faring at Fratton Park over on Talksport after falling behind early. They lead 3-1.
Well, when those games, again, I said it's all about attitude when you go in there. And obviously, going 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes wasn't ideal, but then it's the character and attitude of the players. And one thing that Arteta's done at Arsenal is he has got good characters in them. You've had all of the sort of sideshow that's gone on with Maresca at Chelsea, obviously the sideshow that's gone on with Amorim at Manchester United about sporting directors and players coming in and who has the final say. Can you tell me the last coach, in inverted commas, that won the Premier League? All managers. All the managers have had the say of the players that come into the building, because it's them who get judged by results. They have to judge the characters. The manager has the final say. And there was a lot of changes for Arsenal today, Crookie. And I said to you, the character of the team and the players that are playing, they should be okay, because it's about your attitude.
There were a lot of changes, but it was still a very strong 11, and that's testament really to the squad that Mikel Arteta has been able to build, as Mavropanos back here at London Stadium is now put on that golf buggy, attached to a stretcher, and got a warm ovation from both sets of supporters. And the 45 minutes are up. We are into 9 added minutes, largely due to this long injury stoppage that we've had, and Pablo is still waiting to come on, but doesn't look great for Mavropanos. Again, an ovation as the stretcher makes its way off over on the right hand side in front of those travelling QPR fans who, to their credit, are also clapping the West Ham centre back. And now Pablo will come on, and we're going to see this change in system from Nuno Espirito Santo to move into the 9 added minutes.
Yeah, obviously Mavropanos is conscious, which is very good. You know, just give him our best wishes, Crookie, because nobody likes to see that. Came in front of the QPR fans, give him a warm round of applause. But for the short term, from West Ham's point of view, you'd have thought they're going to like a 4-4-2. Obviously with Pablo up front with Castellanos and Somerville on the left and Bowen on the right.
Yeah, well, the personnel does lend itself to that, doesn't it, really? Wan-Bissaka now as the auxiliary right back, Mayers the left back, and then Todibo and Kilman the 2 centre backs, with Bowen on one wing, Somerville on the other. Here's Magassa down the right hand side, crosses into the penalty area. Good clearance by Cook at the near post, acrobatically sends the ball spinning and spiralling into the QPR fans away to our right. Corner for West Ham, and the second minute of stoppage time. It's West Ham 0, QPR 0.
That's brilliant defending from Steve Cook at the near post, just making sure that he's marking an area. Good play from Magassa and Bowen down the right hand side.
Well, this is their 3rd corner. The previous 2 have caused issues for Joe Walsh, the QPR goalkeeper. Again, he's being crowded on his goal line. Again, Bowen stands over it, so it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger again from this right-hand side. The referee is just delaying the taking of it because he spotted a bit of pushing and shoving. Kilman, one of the guilty parties, seemingly. And what a time this would be for West Ham to get their noses in front. In first half stoppage time, in a game when chances have been at a premium. Joe Walsh with the acrobatic save to tip over Somerville's curling effort, and Rayan Colley heading into the side netting the 2 big opportunities the 2 teams have managed to carve. Still we wait the corner to be taken. Thomas Kirk, the referee, is finally happy, and it's going to be Jarrod Bowen again to deliver. And again he's gone for that far post area. That's a better punch by Walsh for a crowded 6-yard box, and then the ball is sent spinning out of play for a West Ham throw midway inside the QPR half. 0-0.
Yeah, but a goalkeeper there from Walsh as the ball just lofted in from Jarrod Bowen again, quite rightly putting it underneath his crossbar. This time Walsh has made sure he doesn't get involved with the players in front of him. It's Kilman who's trying to be the nuisance. Gets a good 2-fisted punch, goes out to Smith, and then he just tries to ease it up the pitch and slice it, goes out of play. That enables West Ham to recycle possession.
QPR have lost each of their last 12 FA Cup ties when they've been the lower ranked team, taking on a team from the top flight, but they are holding their own here despite the fact that West Ham have had the lion's share of possession. I do wonder if the half-time whistle might come at a good time for QPR, because West Ham just beginning to assert their Premier League authority. And despite losing Mavropanos to injury, Kilman it is who sweeps the ball forward, looking for Somerville on the far side. Good defending by Mbengi back facing his own goal, and it's cleared upfield by Walsh, but Mayers heads it back towards the QPR area, brought down on the chest by Magassa, and now Wan-Bissaka urged to come forward. He's got Bowen to his right and finds the England international. Bowen on his left foot just tries to dink a ball over the top, looking for Castellanos. There was a little coming together between Jimmy Dunn, the QPR captain, and Pablo, but nothing doing according to the referee. No VAR in the FA Cup 3rd round.
How refreshing. I ain't going to waste 2 or 3 minutes of our lives, Crookie, just looking at someone in Stockley Park, seeing the obvious and keep playing it over and over again.
Wan-Bissaka with a robust challenge inside his own half to win possession back, and then there looked to be a handball there as Potts played it forward, but the referee didn't see it. And it's Queen's Park Rangers with Norrington Davis now down their left-hand side. Kone was dispossessed and it's given away again by Potts for West Ham. Possession changing hands rapidly as we move into the 5th added minute at the end of this first half. 5th of 9, 0-0. Wan-Bissaka turning away from Norrington Davis, but not really in a position where he can hurt this Queen's Park Rangers side, and he goes back into his own half and to Debo away to our left. And then Kilman finds Mayers on the far side.
Actually, quickly, this change of shape might do West Ham a favour, because Jarrod Bowen obviously will come wide on this right-hand side. Some will go wide on the left and see if they can get 1v1s. Bowen up against Norrington Davis, and some will go up against Mbenge over on that left-hand side. So, say it might do him a favour, and having two centre forwards, because when a couple of crosses come into the box, Castellanos has made the wrong run twice and the ball's just gone across the 6-yard box.
We've reached half time at the majority of the other 2:30 kickoffs in the FA Cup third round. 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn, goalless Swansea West Brom 2, all championship ties. Norwich lead Walsall by 2-0. It's Sheffield United 1, League 2 Mansfield 2. So there's the potential upset on this Sunday afternoon. 62 gone at Fratton Park over on Talksport, where Arsenal lead Portsmouth by 3-1, and Leeds early today came from behind to beat Derby by the same 3-1 scoreline. 0-0 here at the London Stadium, and we've still got 3 added minutes to play at the end of the first half. Wan-Bissaka back to Jean-Claire Todibo. West Ham have been eliminated at this stage of the competition in each of the last 2 seasons. I think I'm right in saying it was Graham Potter's first game in charge, wasn't it, away at Aston Villa in the third round last season. There's a good ball, releases Mayers down the left. Mayers with a cross into the centre, looking for Castellanos. That's a brilliant challenge, absolutely perfectly timed again by Steve Cook to get there ahead of the Argentine.
Yeah, again, it's just experience there from Steve Cook. Just gets a high five from his fellow centre-back Dunn. Decent play from West Ham down their left-hand side. Good ball from Kilman. Just releasing Myers. Myers getting to the byline at full stretch, just whips the ball in across the 6-yard box. Castellanos actually tries to do the right thing this time and go across the 6-yard box, but Steve Cook using all of his experience, just making sure that I'll track the run, I'll get to near post first, slides in, gets his clearance.
Meanwhile, it's going to be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers, only a few yards inside their own half, down the right hand side. The goalkeeper Walsh plays it forward, collected by Kone initially, and now Dembele into the penalty area. Dancing feet from him, tries to pull it back, but it's intercepted by Magassa, and maybe a counter-attack is on here for West Ham. He's completely overhit the pass. He was looking for Somerville, who is quick, but he's not that quick, and it'll be a throw in for QPR, well inside their own half. We've only got around about 90 seconds of stoppage time to play. It's 0-0.
Quickly, to be fair, that was a brilliant position for a line out, and it it's such a bad ball from Magassa, because it's a simple pass, and he's overhit it by what? We're not exaggerating, 35-40 yards. That just sort of sums up that one little passage of play, the lack of quality from West Ham. Obviously the Premier League team, you'd think they'd have better technical ability about them, but they haven't shown it at all in this first half, apart from Somerville's save, which was Somerville's shot, which was a brilliant save from Walsh, where he tipped over his right hand.
I'm intrigued to see the reaction from the home supporters. There are a lot of empty seats now. Many of them are already headed for the concourses for their half-time refreshment. Will they be apathetic to what they've seen in the first half, or will they be 1 or 2 boos? Because West Ham really haven't been able to impose themselves on championship opposition. The glum look on the face of Nuno Espirito Santo, the home manager, arms folded on the edge of his technical area, really probably sums up what the majority of those home supporters are feeling.
Do you reckon West Ham fans have actually got the energy to boo? Think they can be bothered to boo from what they've seen?
It's just been a 54 minutes that have just drifted by, really. Throw in here for QPR. They're going to launch it into the West Ham penalty area. So one last attack for the championship visitors before half-time. It's helped on by down at the near post. 1 or 2 half-hearted appeals for handball. The referee unmoved. But QPR still have possession, well inside the West Ham half. Chance for Mbenge to cross towards the far post. It was a looping ball, but too high behind for a goal kick. And, well, in the next few seconds, the referee will put all of us out of our misery and blow for half-time at the end of a largely lifeless opening 45 minutes.
I think we all need to go lie down in a darkened room, don't we, with a little bit of scented mist coming in just to calm everybody down. If you're Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, you'll be saying to your QPR team, right, our shapes look good, nice and solid.
Here's Pablo, though, winning the ball well on the edge of the penalty area. Magassa into Somerville. Chance for West Ham right at the end of the first half. And Crescencio Somerville fires the Premier League side in front. Finally, some respite for Nuno Espirito Santo. It all started with some tenacious play by Pablo to win the ball high up the pitch. It was a decent pass from Magassa, and Somerville keeps his cool in front of the Queen's Park Rangers fans, and he makes it West Ham 1, QPR 0.
Well, Somerville's no small town boy. Just a little build-up play on this right-hand side. Jarrod Bowen just easy it in with his left foot. It comes to Pablo. Pablo then squares it to Magassa. Can Magassa pick the right pass? He does this time. The weight is right as well. He says to Somerville, get your first touch, then your second one out your feet. And with his left foot, he smashed it past Walsh at his near post, giving him absolutely no chance whatsoever. That's the first time that West Ham have actually put 4 or 5 passes together with a bit of quality, Crookie, and Somerville has finished it off to put West Ham 1-0 up here at the London Stadium against QPR.
I do wonder, though, if Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, might ask where the extra minutes came from, because 9 were indicated. I know it's a minimum number of added minutes, but it was 45 plus 10 when Somerville fired into the net, and that is basically the last action of the first half, and it changes the whole mood around the London Stadium. West Ham, who struggled really to get the type of foothold you would expect against Championship opposition for much of the first half. They lost Mavropanos to injury. Somerville had come closest to breaking the deadlock, forcing an excellent save from Joe Walsh, the Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper. But it was Somerville deep in stoppage time who has given these suffering West Ham fans reasons for hope heading into the second half. Perry.
Well, I say it was a first half Crookie lacking in quality. QPR set the stall out, went 4-4-2 and said, can you break us down? And West Ham didn't have enough quality in the first 45 minutes to do that, but the first little bit of quality that West Ham have shown when they're in possession, where they've actually strung 5 passes together with a little bit of pace and bit of intensity, that led to the goal where it come out to Jarrod Bowen. He just helped it inside with his left foot. Pablo was able to spin his mark up. Then as he just sort of walks forward, then you think, can you pick the right pass out? Magassa gets inside him, he passes it Magassa. Magassa knows Somerville's coming on the left-hand side of him on the overlap. Then Magassa just rolls it to him. Somerville takes a couple of touches out of his feet and then smashes it left foot past Walsh, gives him absolutely no chance. How you sit there, Crookie, the West Ham fans that had actually stayed and not gone on to the concourse, obviously to get their refreshments at half-time. That's the only bit of quality they've seen in the first half, and to be fair, it's Somerville has been the only attacking player that's shown that quality on a consistent basis.
Well, it's been a long time coming, but Crescencio Somerville finally has his first goal of the season, and West Ham United are halfway to a place in the 4th round of the FA Cup and to a much needed home victory. Half-time here, it is West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
Terrible date or dull Zoom meeting? No one needs to know you're cheating. All it takes is just one tap. Kill boredom dead with the Talksport app.
The Talksport app. Hear, watch and scroll unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want. Available from the App Store now. Terms and conditions apply.
FA Cup Game Day
On Talksport 2.
European football live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Powered by passion.
In moments of magic.
Fueled by fans.
Got a smile on my face that's not going to disappear for weeks to come.
Delivered by the ultimate dream team.
Absolutely first class.
Whenever and wherever there's international action, we're here for it.
And it's that man again.
Get unbeatable commentary and expert coverage of the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League.
Goodness me.
On Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Yorkshire Tea, where everything's done proper. Yorkshire Tea, brew strength made at your own discretion. Boiled water not included, or mugs. Milk in second, always. For exceptions visit, no chance. Not ever, ever. Best stir clockwise, except on Tuesdays. Can accept no responsibility for squeezed tea bags left on countertop. Refer to box for details. Best stirred with a spoon, not your finger. May be enjoyed outside Yorkshire. Sheep on front of box not included. Nor a small cottage, nor a sky. We don't know what the cricket score was. For best results, drink. May contain hot liquid. Whew, blimey.
The moment they walk down the aisle, you want to see it all. and feel ready. Our advanced eye test checks both your eyesight and eye health, so you feel confident in life's important moments. It includes a UV protection and dry eye assessment, plus an OCT scan for early detection of conditions like glaucoma. Book your advanced eye test today. Vision Express. Step out with confidence. T&Cs apply. Upgrade your free NHS PRSI medical card eye test for a nominal fee.
Right, who's all in for Cancer Research UK's Race for Life? Sunday Leaguers, dog lovers, beat cubbers, banker dancers, baby ravers, potters. Whether you walk it, jog it, or run it, go all in against cancer. All in to help fund life-saving research. Sign up now and save 30% off entry to your local 3K, 5K, 10K or Pretty Muddy event. Search Race for Life. Discount ends January 31st, 2026. T's and C's apply.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And yes, we will build the wall.
The ladies not for turning.
It's going to be a U-turn.
It's pulling a U-turn from Labour.
Zarika about the U-turn.
Times change, but for over 240 years, the Times and Sunday Times have been on the ground, delivering in-depth, trusted reporting, so you can understand what's really going on. Times change. The Times remains.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken with White and Jordan.
The best of White and Jordan is now available in one unmissable daily podcast.
So you've got a perfect storm.
From the top flight to the big fight, get opinionated debate that's always on the ball.
Time to hire somebody who can win.
And on the money.
This is a long way from a done deal.
Outrageous, outstanding, outspoken.
It's hard to say that, but it's the truth.
Out now.
Listen or download for free on the Talksport app or from your favourite podcast portal.
Apocalyptic football intelligence.
FA Cup Game Day on Talksport 2.
We are off and underway on this FA Cup third round Sunday.
There's no intensity, is there, about West Ham's play?
The simple truth is, Perry, the league table testifies this. They're just not very good, are they, West Ham? Oh, that is woeful. That is absolutely terrible. And you asked if we were playing rugby union earlier. It's a conversion, isn't it? Absolutely awful. Here's Pablo, though, winning the ball well on the edge of the penalty area. Magassa into Somerville. Chance for West Ham right at the end of the first half. And Crescencio Somerville fires the Premier League side in front.
That's the first time that West Ham have actually put 4 or 5 passes together with a bit of quality.
Yes, a much-needed goal for West Ham right on half-time. Crescencio Somerville with his first of the season. It is Premier League West Ham 1, Championship QPR 0 at the interval. Arsenal, meanwhile, have got a 4th goal over on Talksport. They were behind inside 3 minutes, but it's now Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4. Gabriel Martinelli with the hat-trick. The Premier League leaders are going safely through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. You are listening to Game Day Live here on Talksport 2. As I say, at half-time, it's West Ham 1, QPR 0. We'll have full second-half commentary from here. For a reminder, we bring you another massive FA Cup tie on Talksport later as Manchester United host Brighton in Darren Fletcher's first home game as interim United manager. Let's hear from Fletcher, who says everyone at the club must come together to get this team playing to their full potential.
There's lots of potential in this squad, and I think potential is a good word because you can see some young players who are learning their trade and developing at Manchester United under the biggest microscope, under the most intense pressure. So within that, they'll have to learn quickly, but they'll have to develop a thick skin and deal with the pressures that come with that. But I said it the other day, that's Manchester United, and as quickly as they can learn to deal with that, accept that, we have to help them. Experienced players have to help them, coaches, staff have to help them, managers have to help them, everyone in the club has to help them. Handling disappointment in football is everything, on and off the pitch, different situations in the game, and it's recognising and understanding that you've got 90 minutes to rectify things, and nothing's going to be perfect. I think people striving for perfection, football's about chance, luck, opportunities, different things happen. Look at the game the other night. I mean, we concede 1 shot on goal, another shot off target, and we draw 2-2, but that's football. We have a disallowed goal, which is unfortunate. Things happen in football, you've got to be able to deal with them constantly and just keep believing while there's 90 minutes on the clock that you can change it around.
That's the Manchester United interim manager Darren Fletcher. Well, Brighton have never beaten United in the FA Cup, of course losing a final famously to them back in 1983 and a semi-final recently as well. But the Brighton boss Fabian Hürzeler says today is the perfect opportunity to set that record straight.
It's a good reason to go there and change it. It's a good reason to go there and try to avoid having like these kind of history in this club. So that's also our responsibility, and we know we are capable of going there and win this game. We know capable of going there and get to the next round, and that's our only focus. I think that the experiences or the games you just mentioned won't affect us tomorrow. So it's just the effect that happened in the past. But tomorrow, in 2 days, there are new circumstances. There are new players on the pitch. Yeah, it's just a new situation. So that's why we don't get too much affected by these kind of things, and then we try to create new history.
Well, you've heard from the two managers ahead of our live and exclusive national radio commentary on Talksport. Let's just bring you a flavour of the team news from Old Trafford. Manchester United, probably as you'd expect, with Darren Fletcher looking to make an impact. They've gone very strong. Senny Lammens is the goalkeeper. It looks like a back four of Dalot, Martinez, Yoro and Dorgu. Kobe Mainu gets a rare start as he comes into midfield along with Manuel Ugarte. Mason Mount back from injury. He's in the starting lineup as well. Benjamin Šeško leading the line up front. So it'll be Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount in behind him. Brighton, though, Perry, have left both their captain Lewis Dunk and fellow first-choice centre-back Jan-Paul van Hecke on the bench. You're not happy about that? Matoma amongst the subs as well.
I don't get it, honestly, because Brian have a right go and try and win the FA Cup, because Fabian Hürzeler is doing a really good job at Brighton, right? And we know in the middle tier of the Premier League, it's the strongest it's ever been. And I know that he'll be saying they've got a chance of maybe getting in a European place. But all Brighton fans would want a cup run. You mentioned about the one against your mob in, is it 82? The Gordon Smith?
83.
The Gordon Smith cup final when he missed the City, didn't he, for Brighton to try and win it for him, and then Man United win the replay 4-0. So they're all memories for fans, you know. And why not put out your strongest team and give it everything you've got and send the message out to Brighton fans that you're going to have a real go at trying to win this FA Cup. You look at the Man United side, Bruno Fernandes back in, obviously Cunha as well, Mason Mount. So
Šeško got a couple of goals in midweek.
Exactly, so that looks a very good forward line that Manchester United got at the moment.
Well, reminder, you can hear Manchester United against Brighton live and exclusive on Talksport from 4:30 this Sunday afternoon. But elsewhere, the big story of the third round of the FA Cup undoubtedly came at Macclesfield as the sixth-tier side knocked out the holders Crystal Palace with a 2-1 victory yesterday. And the Macclesfield owner, Rob Smethurst, joined Sean Custis and Henry Winter on Sunday edition to look back at a historic day for the club.
Do you know what? I woke up this morning, I still think it's a dream. You know, the scenes yesterday were just absolutely incredible. The fans were running on the pitch. I mean, you know, who would have thought it? Beating the title holders, Crystal Palace. Epic scenes. I know the lads were out till 3-4 o'clock.
They've got a game on Tuesday.
Night. So, yeah, incredible.
Well, looking at your Instagram, there's a lovely picture of the fans and the players celebrating, and the caption just says, "This is what it means to support a community club," with the emphasis on community. Is that what yesterday was all about?
Yeah, do you know what? When I bought the club, you know, I wanted to do something special. You know, obviously the club had gone into receivership. You know, I had a great opportunity and lucky enough that I sold my business and I wanted to do something good. And, you know, I wanted to put Macclesfield back on the map. And, you know, obviously I bought it on Rightmove. But, you know, it is all about the community. It's about the fan base. You know, we've built something really special there. There's nearly 3,500-4,000 fans come to each game, you know, Tuesday night, Saturdays. You know, and the emphasis is on really just giving back and making sure that they really enjoy it. You know, you see the faces and the community spirit that you see, you know, week in, week out. And I think, you know, that's what non-league football is about. It's about seeing those people on a Saturday really enjoying themselves and getting that community spirit going.
The FA Cup is famous for cup shocks. So not only have you beaten the holders in Crystal Palace, but to actually, statistically, as it says, to pull off the greatest shock of all time adds the cherry on the cake, I suppose.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to believe. I mean, I think this was a special moment, not just for the fans, but, we had a tragic story, with losing Ethan and, our striker. And, he was our 12th man out there. And, his family came in after the game, and we wanted to celebrate with them, as much as anybody. And, we did that. But we've built something special, and to go into sort of history now, this is really put Macclesfield on the map. And, for me as an owner, and the shareholders that have invested in me and believed in this dream, it's also a credit to those as well, because dreams can come true. And I think certainly what we have done is make that happen. It is a dream.
That was the Macclesfield owner Rob Smethurst speaking on Sunday edition this morning. Dreams certainly did come true for them yesterday live on Talksport. 117 places below the National League North side and the holders Crystal Palace. It's also, Perry, the first time the FA Cup holders have been knocked out by a non-league side since the early 1900s. Ironically, that was Crystal Palace who beat Wolves, who were then the holders of the FA Cup. I mean, when people give this competition a kicking and they say maybe it's not the tournament it used to be, days like yesterday just breathe new life into it, don't they?
Absolutely, it is a tournament it used to be, because people forget, obviously, teams like Macclesfield would have to go in the earlier rounds of the FA Cup, and then they get into the first round proper, second round proper, and then you want a big tie. And at home against a Premier League side, couldn't come any better. And you just say about iconic images as well from the FA Cup. Paul Dawson, the captain of Macclesfield, with his bandaged head, with had a little bit of blood rate, getting the first goal, then that will be an iconic image that will be synonymous with the FA Cup for time immemorial. And that's why fans love the FA Cup. You have to say, Lovely Glasson, I think, got his team wrong, because he put Rodney
There's enough
in.
quality there, though, wasn't there?
But
Come on.
But he put Rodney in, he put Drake Thomas in, like under 21 players.
Are you saying he put Rodney in and he ended up looking like a plonker?
Absolutely. Just took the words right out of my mouth. So he's got to take a bit of blame, but also the Crystal Palace players' attitude wasn't right. And it wasn't a lucky win from Macclesfield either, Crookie, was it? It wasn't if they were hanging on. They actually took the game to Crystal Palace. Loved it yesterday. I was listening to it on Talksport, and it actually made the hairs. I've got no hair on my head, but made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It was amazing.
And I've got to say, it started on Friday night. My two lads have both got a soft spot for Wrexham. They've watched the documentary. They've got Wrexham shirts. They've fully bought into the Hollywood Club, and we watched it together. And what a great advert that was for the FA Cup as well. Wrexham coming through on penalties against Forest. Macclesfield coming through in normal time against Crystal Palace. Can Queen's Park Rangers come from behind and cause an upset here? Because we are back underway at London Stadium. It's West Ham 1, QPR 0. West Ham in their claret jerseys, white shorts and white socks, shooting from right to left, and straight away Jarrod Bowen comes bursting into the penalty area, stopped in his tracks. Wan-Bissaka with a cross back into the box, cleared as far as Potts, who was there to shoot by the West Ham fans. Instead, he lays it short to the goal scorer Somerville, and then there's a free kick conceded, I think, by Castellanos. But straight away, Perry, you can see at the start of this second half, because they got the goal deep in stoppage time in the first half, more urgency from West Ham.
Yeah, I think obviously Nuno Espirito Santo, the West Ham manager, would want West Ham just to move the ball a lot quicker. Exactly what they've done from kick-off there. Got himself out to Jarrod Bowen on that right-hand side, cutting on his left foot. To be fair to QPR, they defended the edge of the 8-yard box really well. But sometimes you might get lucky as a manager, Crookie, and West Ham having to change their shape. I think it's made them more potent going forward, because Somerville said we'll give him the natural width on this left-hand side. He obviously got the goal in the 10th minute of added on time in the first half, and Jarrod Bowen will get more space out on that right-hand side. Yeah,
I'll run you through the two lineups in just a moment, but some more goals to tell you about in the FA Cup third round. Norwich have wrapped it up at home to Walsall. They lead by 3-0. What about this? It's now Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 4, the League Two side causing an upset there. Swansea 1, West Brom 1. Quick exchange of goals at the start of the second half. Still goalless, Hull against Blackburn. Arsenal lead Portsmouth by 4-1 over on Talksport. It's 1-0 to West Ham here as QPR put a free kick into the penalty area. Cleared as far as Castellanos on the edge of the penalty area. Then he's been caught in possession. In the end, it's volleyed away by Jean-Claire Todibo. West Ham with a back four in this second half after Mavropanos was forced off injured in the first half. So it's Hermansen in goal, Wan-Bissaka and Young Mayers the fullbacks, Todibo and Kilman the central defenders, Bowen and Somerville out wide with Potts and Magassa in midfield, and then Castellanos and Pablo, the 2 January signings, paired together up front. No change for QPR to the side that started the game, so it's Joe Walsh in goal, a back 4 of Mbengi, Dunn, Cook and Norrington Davis. In fact, Smith came on early to replace Sato. He's the right winger. Dembele down the left, Madsen and Hayden in the centre of midfield, and then Kone and Colley in attack. West Ham with Castellanos in possession down the left-hand side, linking up neatly with Somerville. Then he went to ground under the challenge from Hayden. Referee says play on, and they've recycled possession all the way back to the orange-shirted Joe Walsh.
Well, Castellanos has got to be stronger there. Instead of playing up front now, obviously with Pablo as a front 2, when the ball comes into him, he's just got to make sure that he gets himself side on. He's 2 square on. That enables Hayden just to hook his foot around him, just nick the ball off of him, and then the move for West Ham breaks down and QPR get possession.
Yeah, a bit of drizzle in the air now at London Stadium, with the floodlights beaming brightly. West Ham looking to secure their place in round 4 and avoid a potential banana skin along the way against a QPR side who've lost their last 3 FA Cup meetings against the Hammers, the most recent back in 1995 when Ray Wilkins was in charge of the Super Hoops, our late great former colleague. Ball punted forward by Steve Cook for QPR, and Magassa's wayward header almost set Smith away, but it's retrieved by Potts, who's had a solid game in midfield. The West Ham Academy product, one of the shining lights of what's been a pretty dismal season to this point.
Yeah, he just keeps his discipline crooked, doesn't he? Obviously playing in the centre with Magassa, so he just keeps it ticking over.
It's now Norwich 4, Walsall 0 at Carrow Road, so Norwich will be in the hat for the round 4 draw, live on Drive on Monday evening around about 6:35. Will West Ham be in the hat as well for the first time in 3 years? Jarrod Bowen with a cross into the penalty area over the head of Somerville, who was looking to attack it, and then Mayers, I think, has given away a foul, has he? The 18-year-old for West Ham, so it's going to be a free kick for QPR, but well inside their own half. Jovan McCammah has scored the hat-trick for Norwich in that 4-0 game against Walsall. West Ham 3 times winners of the FA Cup, most recently back in 1980. They did reach the final in 2006 before Stephen Gerrard broke hearts in Cardiff.
I was ball boy at the 1980.
I thought you were going to say in 2006.
I've got a good surgeon.
Were you really?
I was ball boy in 1980, yeah. It was Suffolk schoolboys' turn to provide the ball boys for the FA Cup final, and I got a massive rollicking off of Pat Jennings because me and another ball boy were wrestling over the match balls. There's only one ball in those days, wasn't there?
Was that your only FA Cup final?
I played in the semi. First ever one at Wembley.
Wasn't the question I asked, was it?
When Gaza actually miskicked his free kick in the top corner.
I remember that. Yeah, what a game that was. Well, what a goal anyway.
Well, we thought we'd had a bad day, obviously losing against your main rivals in the first FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and then we watched the West Ham Nottingham Forest semi-final after that, and Tony Gale got sent off after 5 minutes, so he just made us feel a lot better. I've just seen Gailey actually down in the media centre. Every time I see him I go, thanks for that, it just made us feel a lot better.
Holding court down there, no doubt, as he loves to do, former West Ham man, of course. Premier League title winner with Blackburn, Tony Gale. 1-0 to his former club here. The goal in stoppage time at the end of the first half by Crescencio Somerville. It's now Sheffield United 2, Mansfield 4, so Sheffield United maybe with a flicker of hope there. Not seen too much from QPR as an attacking force in this second half to suggest they can turn this around, but it is only 1-0 as Castellanos is trying to put pressure on Steve Cook, and Cook forced to clear into touch for a West Ham throw. We've played 7 minutes since the restart.
Yeah, Mayo's just trying to ease it down that left-hand channel, just trying to turn the back 4 of QPR, which didn't happen enough in that first half, so everything was in front of them. But now they've got the 2 up front now, Pablo and Castellanos. One of them should be making a run in behind.
Of course, if they do see this out without conceding, it will be their first clean sheet under Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yep, so it's 1 in 22 games before this afternoon's game. And to be honest, QPR really haven't been a threat going forward, Crookie, have they? They've been all right shape defensively, but I think if they had played with a little bit more belief in themselves, they could have caused West Ham a few more problems.
Well, obviously they're without one or two of their forward players. Burrell in particular, who would have started, you'd have thought, due to injury. Poku as well, who's been a real handful this season. And they have missed and they've lacked that attacking spark, and as Colley comes to the halfway line, Kilman's been caught by a late challenge from Mbengi. I'm not sure we've had a yellow card yet, have we?
No, Thomas Kirk, the referee, just tried to obviously let the game flow. And Mbengi just looked like initially just going over the top of the ball on Kilman.
And that Castellanos was booked for West Ham in the first half, producer Sal just reminds me. It's not really been that type of game, has it?
No, I think
for a London derby.
And Benge's very lucky there, Crookie, to be fair, because he has gone over the top of the ball with his studs and he's caught Max Kilman in the shin. Obviously, we've got new VAR, so he knows that he's safe. I'll be amazed if he doesn't get a yellow card, because...
Yeah, there it is. Just signalled by the referee. So the first QPR booking of the afternoon. He's protesting his innocence. And Mbengi, the right fullback, but pretty easy decision, I think.
As I say, I think he's lucky that there's no VAR, because that would have definitely been looked at, because he's gone over the top of the ball. It's over the top of the ankles, gone into Kilman's shin. To be fair to Max Kilman, he didn't make too much of a meal of it.
Sheffield United have got another goal back at Bramall Lane. It's now Sheffield United 3, Mansfield 4. And I think we've got a red card, have we? For Mansfield. Oh, it's an own goal, actually. But it's 4-3 anyway. So Sheffield United back in it. QPR looking to get back in it here on Talksport 2. We've played 9 stop-start minutes since half-time. No real chance for either team to add to the scoring.
So just looking at QPR again, you've got Kone and Colley up front. And obviously they're 4-4-2 Sheffield, but then go and press with it like intent. But basically they're jogging to press. They're not putting the West Ham centre-halves, Kilman and Tebow, under any pressure whatsoever. But if they did go, accelerate towards the ball, then the QPR back four can push up further in to West Ham's half and put them under a bit of pressure, which is they've actually done now.
Here's Mayers in the left back position, dances away from Dembele and then plays the ball infield to Magassa. Didn't really seem to know where it was as it threatened to get stuck under his boots, but he played it back to Wan-Bissaka, and now Freddie Potts dispossessed by Madsen. QPR fans urging their team on as they're coming forward with Smith down the left-hand side. He was sandwiched by 2 West Ham players. They're travelling hordes from Loftus Road, wanted a free kick. The referee had a good view and says no. But then QPR pressing high again, and they've actually given a free kick away for a foul on Pablo on the corner of the West Ham penalty area. Smith maybe was unhappy he didn't get the free kick awarded to himself and went for looking for some retribution.
Yeah, it was just Smith picking him up on that left-hand side, trying to cut inside to Debo. To be fair, Pablo does well just to doubles up on him, but he does push him in his back. Smith goes down far too easily. Quite rightly, Thomas Kirk, the referee, decides to play on.
Full time over on Talksport. Arsenal have beaten Portsmouth by 4 goals to 1. Gabriel Martinelli with the hat-trick in that game as Wan-Bissaka comes sprinting down the right for West Ham, and that is a really strong challenge, but a fair one by Norrington Davis to concede the throw.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka just thought he might be able to tow it away from Norrington Davis. Norrington Davis had slid in full length, brilliantly timed tackle from the QPR left back, because if he hadn't, Wan-Bissaka was away and you had Jarrod Bowen free inside him.
So Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4 is a full-time result. Hull 0, Blackburn 0. Norwich lead Walsall by 4 goals to 0. These are all FA Cup third-round ties. It's Sheffield United 3, Mansfield 4, and it's 1-1 between Swansea and West Brom in an all-championship tie. West Ham leading here against Queen's Park Rangers from the second tier by a goal to 0. That's a late challenge by Magassa, and he is going to pick up a yellow card, I think, for his endeavours there.
Yeah, Kone just looking like he was going to get away from Magassa. Good skill from the QPR front man, just getting it, robbing Magassa, just trying to get away from him. In the end, Magassa just slides in, just brings him down from behind. Thomas Kirk, referee, no choice but dish out another yellow card. Just got a bit more energy, Crookie, this second half, isn't it? There's a bit more spice about it. I think Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, said that he wants some positivity from his team and just have a bit more belief in yourself. So it's got a bit more pace about it this second half.
Queen's Park Rangers fans still in good voice, but they've just played the ball out for a West Ham throw around about halfway. 1-0 West Ham lead. Crescencio Somerville with his first goal of the season in the 10th minute of stoppage time in the first half. That after a long injury delay because Mavropanos had been stretchered off, the West Ham centre-back. QPR also losing Koki Sato to what looked like a hamstring injury. So both teams counting the cost from an injury perspective as Somerville plucks the ball neatly from the sky down the left-hand side. He's got Mayers making the run ahead of him. Mayers up against Mbengi, gets away from him, crosses deep towards the far post. It's a decent-looking delivery headed down by a combination of Castellanos and Pablo, almost got in each other's way. And then Steve Cook, the smaller of the two centre-backs, clears out of touch for a throw. 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah, good link-up play down the left-hand side from Somerville and Mayers. Mayers just spinning away from Mbenge.
And this is good play by Smith, though, getting away from Magassa. Knew he couldn't bring him down, having already been booked, and then rugby tackled to the floor by Wan-Bissaka. That will be another West Ham yellow card. And having said it wasn't that type of game, we have 3 bookings in very quick succession.
Yeah, Smith's looked lively down that left-hand side. Just a little bit of injection of enthusiasm. Just carrying the ball good 20-30 yards. Just gets the wrong side of Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's just been really shrewd, just put his arm across him and end up bringing him down just to stop the flow of QPR's attack. Again, Thomas Kirk, the referee, quite rightly gets his yellow card out. But this is all because QPR have got a little bit more intent about them, Crookie. You know, they're being a bit more positive when they're in possession.
It's the voice of Perry Groves, FA Cup semi-finalist back in the early 1990s. Here on Talksport 2.
And knocked out by Wrexham in 1992, one of the biggest shocks, apart from obviously Macclesfield.
Yeah, you're quite grateful for Macclesfield, aren't you?
Takes the pressure
taking
off.
a bit of limelight away from that Arsenal
yeah.
defeat. He was there, wasn't he, on Friday night? Mickey Thomas, the architect of your downfall.
He got the free kick, smashed it.
Yeah.
Me and Merce looked at each other, and that was the equaliser. We thought, we're not going out Tuesday now.
At least you had a nice yellow and black kit, if I remember rightly.
No, that was the bruised, but that was the first ever bruised banana kit.
Yeah.
Yes, PTSD.
Absolute cracker, that was. 1-0 to West Ham here, as we digress, but there's not too much happening out on the pitch to get excited about with an hour gone. Long throw in by Mbengi down this right-hand side, looking for Richard Kone, who's had to feed on scraps, really. The pair of them up top, him and Colley, not had too much by way of service, and now Wan-Bissaka will come over the halfway line for West Ham, over on the far right-hand side. He looks to play it forward towards Castellanos, the goalkeeper. Is alert, Joe Walsh, and he comes sliding on his knees and collects the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Well, Castellanos and Pablo both made the same run there. Obviously, they're playing up front as a front two. Just need a little bit better understanding. Both took up the same space in that inside right channel, which Wan-Bissaka tried to find. But at least this has got more.
Magassa winning the ball high up the field. Here's Bowen, right corner of the penalty area. Bowen into Magassa. Oh, he couldn't take it in his stride, and that will enable Queen's Park Rangers to bring it clear. Maybe more than bring it clear, because they're over the halfway line. And here's Colley, level with the 18-yard box. Colley away from John Clare to Debo, into the penalty area. Good run from Colley, and then Todibo slides in and pokes it back towards his own goal, and smothering it at the near post was Hermansen. That was better from Rayan Colley.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Colley down that left-hand side. He's 1v1 with Todibo, exactly who he wants, a centre-half. Just twists him inside, then goes outside of him. Todibo's had a panic, thinks he's going to pull him back, decides not to. Then Colley, just as he overruns a little bit, he's just trying to roll it in between Hermansen's legs at the near post. To be fair to the goalkeeper, got his angles spot on.
Walsall have got a goal back at Carrow Road. It's Norwich 4, Walsall 1 in the FA Cup third round. Here at London Stadium, it's still West Ham 1, QPR 0. But you just sense, as long as it stays 1-0, Queen's Park Rangers are going to grow in endeavour. They're going to be braver. They're going to go hunting the game, and that might lead to quite an open final half an hour.
Well, to be fair, this second half, Crookie, has more pace about it, doesn't it, when both teams are in possession, especially QPR. The first half was more like a practice game, wasn't it, where QPR just sat their stall out but didn't get any lot of heavy tackles and weren't closing down. They let West Ham play in front of them. But this now, it's just got a little bit more spread out.
I'll tell you who's grown as the game's gone on, Magassa. He's just won a really good ball high up the field there, and it's been switched out to Pablo. Pablo with a cross into the penalty area behind Jarrod Bowen, and QPR again able to clear the danger. And here they come on the counter-attack. They've got 4 Hoop jerseys forward. Down the right-hand side is Dembele. Dembele into the penalty area. Low cross towards the near post. I think it might have gone all the way through to Manson, but Kilman slides and clears away, and Bengi then with a deep delivery. The goalkeeper should deal with it. He didn't really, just patted it down, and Smith wins it back inside the area, drills it towards the near post, and it's turned behind by Wan-Bissaka. A corner for QPR, but they are growing in confidence in front of the travelling hordes away to our right.
Yeah, you can hear the QPR fans have actually got themselves something to shout about now, and Bengi just whipping the ball in. Hermansen looks like he's waving to someone up in the director's box, misses it completely, comes to Smith, gets his shot on. Wan-Bissaka is at the near post, just slides in, just deflects it for a corner for QPR over on their left-hand side.
I think Hermansen probably would have had the shot covered, but Wan-Bissaka didn't take any chances, and here come QPR with a set piece in front of 9,000 travelling Hoop supporters. Needs a good delivery over on the far side, but at the moment there's a West Ham player down inside the box. It was Castellanos who's just helped back to his feet, and that just delays the kick being taken. I think Kone just making that point to the referee. Maybe there's a bit of gamesmanship in there. He's grappling with Castellanos at the near post. Steve Cook loitering just behind his striker and now stands directly in front of the goalkeeper. In fact, he's walked in the back of the net, Cook, as the corner is taken, and it's headed down at the far post by Dunn. Chance for Colley on the turn. Got his shot away, but it lacked any real power, and it's cleared and hoisted to safety for a QPR throw. Yeah, 1-0 to West Ham United.
Yeah, good movement from QPR. Dunn just getting himself away from Mayers, just heading the ball back to Colley on the edge of 6-yard box. Tried to get his swiveling shot in.
Here they come again, cross into the penalty area, and the header from Kone. Queen's Park Rangers level. The Championship fans go wild. And is that the start of another FA Cup third round shock? They took the throw in quickly. It was hoisted into the penalty area, and Kone guides his header beyond Hermansen into the far corner. West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and still no clean sheet for Nuno.
Crookie has said that QPR playing a little bit more belief, a little bit more endeavour in this second half. That's given the QPR fans something to really shout about. It was a really, really clever header from Kone. Just flicks it with the top of his head, just guides it on its way. Really good play from QPR. Dembele with a brilliant cross in with his left foot, in swinging. Kone gets himself inside Wan-Bissaka and just lets it flick off the top of his head. Gives Hermansen absolutely no chance in West Ham's goal. Brilliantly crafted goal from QPR, and well back in this tie here at London Stadium, 1-1 against West Ham.
It's only his 6th goal of the season, Richard Kone, only his 2nd since October. But it's got those 9,000 travelling supporters believing again. Julian Stefan, the manager, punched the air in jubilation. It had been building, the QPR pressure. And West Ham nerves are fraying again on this third round Sunday. 25 minutes to play. We are all square in this Premier League against Championship clash.
Crookie, I think it was a really good header from Kone. He got in front of Wan-Bissaka, but then as it just comes off the top of his head, I think it hits Wan-Bissaka on the shoulder and goes in. It'll go down, obviously, as a goal for Kone because his header was on target. And we said that QPR were playing with a little bit more belief in this second half, a little more intensity going forward. Exactly what happened. From the left-hand side at first, it was Smith who ended up getting the corner. Then it got cleared, another corner from the left, from their right-hand side, got cleared out to Dembele. And we said about the quality in the first half wasn't there in and around the 18-yard box. Brilliant cross from Dembele with his in-swing with his left foot. Great little glancing header from Kone. We have a game on here, Crookie.
And I'll tell you what, we've just looked at the stats. Producer Sal has just drawn my attention to the fact that West Ham in this second half, no expected goals, no shots clearly on target. They just haven't built on that goal that Somerville scored in stoppage time, and therein lies the problem that Nuno is going to have to solve, not just this afternoon, but for the rest of the season if they are to salvage a miracle relegation escape. The immediate priority is to avoid potential FA Cup embarrassment here, because at 1-1, Queen's Park Rangers all of a sudden look the team in the ascendancy.
Yeah, as I say, it's given the team belief. Queen's Park Rangers give the fans belief. Julian Stefan obviously lost his head when he was like running up and down out of his technical area when Carney got the equalising goal. So West Ham just trying to steady themselves, get themselves back in possession.
West Ham 1, QPR 1, 68 minutes played. Remember, this tie has to be settled today. If it is level after 90, we will have an extra half an hour of extra time and then potentially penalties. A long way to go before that happens as West Ham come forward with the teenager Mayers, and now Freddie Potts tries to sweep the ball out to the right hand side of the area where Castellanos was lurking. Ball is cleared and collected on halfway by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and it looks like we're going to see a West Ham change. Thomas Souček, a very popular figure in these parts, is stripped and ready for action as Somerville comes attacking down the West Ham left, cuts in on his right foot just outside the penalty area. Somerville thought about the shot, tried to guide it low into the box, it's cleared, and now QPR on the counter, where they've looked very threatening in the last 10 minutes or so. Dembele just rolls it back to Mbengi, and his ball forward is won back well by Freddie Potts. They wanted a free kick, and they've got a free kick actually for an earlier foul, I think by Mayers. And it's a free kick for QPR just inside their own half, and I think now West Ham will make this change. There's going to be another yellow card. We've seen a lot of those since half time.
Yeah, do you know why? Because it's become more competitive. You know, QPR are playing with more aggression than they did in the first half, so they're getting into their 50-50s. They're making West Ham players make rash decisions. Obviously Magassa's been booked, Wan-Bissaka's been booked as well, and we see there Freddie Potts just going over the top on Dembele, just leaving his studs in.
West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1 as Souček replaces Magassa. So a like-for-like change, maybe more of a goal threat posed by Thomas Souček, particularly from set-piece situations. Meanwhile, QPR have a free kick just inside their own half. Steve Cook, the centre-back, stands over the ball and is ready to send it long towards the penalty area away to our right. Great moment, wasn't it, for those travelling QPR supporters. Kone with a header to get them back on terms right in front of the away end. It's another thing that makes this FA Cup so special, the increased allocation of away tickets. The free kick in is cleared, but only as far as Smith on the edge of the box. Little ball round the corner to Colley. You just sense that QPR are growing in confidence here, growing in stature, having got back on level terms. Deep ball in from Cook, headed away by Kilman. And a little layoff from Castellanos to Somerville, who has been West Ham's best player by a distance, I would suggest. Somerville forward to Bowen, who by contrast had quite a quiet afternoon. He's tackled by Cook on the edge of the box. 1-1 the score. Not been able to get going, Jarrod Bowen, today.
No, this really hasn't happened for him, but he's always got that quality, Crookie. You know, he's playing over that right-hand side. He's just sort of drifted in now. He's been on the periphery. But if you talk about leaders and, you know, take responsibility, you have to say Steve Cook, the QPR centre-half, has been absolutely outstanding. Everything that's come into the 6-yard box he's headed. His time of his tackles has been brilliant, sliding tackles. And how old is he now? He's about 48?
He turns 35 in April, but you know what? He's a tremendous pro, great player, and he's had a brilliant career, hasn't he? He came all the way up with Bournemouth from League One into the Premier League, established himself as a Premier League defender, has dropped down as the years have caught up with him, but still having a very good Championship career.
Yeah, very much so. He said about he's never blessed with pace, was he, Crookie? So then he had to have that yard in his head, which he's got. Positional play has been outstanding in this game so far, and he's always a threat, obviously, from attacking set pieces.
Well, he's standing over the dead ball here, a yard inside the QPR half. 1-1 the score with 18 minutes plus stoppage time to go. West Ham get it clear, but still bouncing around on the edge of their penalty area. Wan-Bissaka then volleys it away. Flicked on by Pablo towards Castellanos, but put right back into the danger zone. And Wan-Bissaka almost got caught underneath the ball there. Smith putting the pressure on, slides in and concedes the throw. I mean, he really has epitomised all that's been good about QPR, Paul Smith, in this second half, because he's won it back there from the throw, and he's not given West Ham a moment's peace. Colley looking for Kone, the pass was over here, and Mayers will clear.
Well, to be fair, when Sato went off, we thought that he'll do a good job defensively, but it's his energy and enthusiasm on that left-hand side that has dragged QPR forward.
He's been like the Tasmanian devil, Smith, in this second half.
He's got a little bit of pace, a little bit of acceleration.
Here, West Ham in possession with Freddie Potts, 10 yards inside the QPR half, away to our left. Now Mayers. Mayers goes back to Kilman, who's over the halfway line, Max Kilman. One of those who's really struggled for form and for confidence this season, as West Ham have been leaking goals for fun in the Premier League. Souček switches the ball out to the right now on Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka gives it back to Souček on the overlap, low crosses. Cleared away and out for a West Ham throw, almost level with a penalty spot over on the far right-hand side.
Good defending from Norton Davis. So Souček just linking up with Wan-Bissaka on that right-hand side. Souček actually going on the overlap, which is probably what he's not been put on the pitch for. Crookie, you want him sort of more central, but good defending from Norrington Davis. Just gets his block in.
Wan-Bissaka with a throw, looking for Souček. It's headed behind for what will be a corner for West Ham, and they have had issues with set pieces this season, QPR. In fact, no team has conceded more headed goals than Julian Stefan's side in the whole of the Championship, 12 in total.
Well, you know exactly what's going to happen, Crookie. Jarrod Bowen will take it into him with his left foot from that right-hand side. He had 3 in the first half, but he put one right underneath Walsh's crossbar. Wolves missed 2 of them and then punched the third one away.
It's going to be Jarrod Bowen again to whip it in. Right in front of the goalkeeper again. He's punched it clear. Picked up by Mayers on the edge of the area. Souček then with a clever ball to Castellanos, who shoots goalwards. First attempt blocked, second one headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Heroic stuff from Jimmy Dunn. A double block from the QPR captain to deny Castellanos what would have been his first West Ham goal.
Jimmy Dunn looked like he'd been fired out of a cannon there, Crooked, to be fair. The first one he blocked, he was on the floor. The second one coming from Castellanos with a volley, just flung himself out, like right through the air, got his head on it. But West Ham have managed to get themselves back in possession.
Yeah, and they're going to have to ride out a bit of a storm here, QPR. West Ham certainly have been the better team the last couple of minutes. Cross into the area, bounces off Castellanos and away. And now QPR looking to counter-attack. Ball given away to Wan-Bissaka originally, and then Colley goes diving into the challenge onto Debo. That was a high one, and that's going to be another yellow card in this second half. Colley is going to have his name taken by the referee.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's QPR playing with a bit more aggression in the second half, trying to impose themselves on West Ham. Colley just having a bad touch of his left foot and then just slides in. And to be fair, he manages just to point his toe further to the ground and doesn't actually go in with his stud showing. Todibo obviously just rolls around, but I'd just like to, tell our listeners that he is okay, Todibo. Who'd have thought it?
Well, this was the point, was that I spoke to Arne Slot after the game at your place the other night, and Gabriel Martinelli got a lot of stick for trying to roll Conor Bradley off the pitch. We now know that Conor Bradley will miss the rest of the season with a serious knee injury, but to his credit, Arne Slot said, look, that's a byproduct of the amount of time wasting and the amount of diving that goes on in the modern game.
Yeah, very much so. I think as well, if you remember in the game, Frimpong was down, wasn't he, in the 18-yard box, and Arsenal played on, quite rightly so, because Anthony Taylor was referee. It's up to him. It wasn't a head injury. But you said there's so many players that sort of play act and roll around and they try and waste time. I think Martinelli, that's what he thought Bradley was doing, and he's apologised privately and publicly, which is what you should do.
Castellanos, lovely sweeping ball, picked up by Bowen, right corner of the area. Bowen trying to get into a shooting position on his left foot, charged down on the edge of the box, and can QPR counter here? No, it's given away by their goal scorer, Kone. Stays 1-1. West Ham building up a head of steam here. Wan-Bissaka with a cross, cleared away at the near post by Norrington Davis, the left back, and then Colley went to ground under the challenge from Todibo. Todibo flicks the ball forward. We can't get out here at the moment, QPR. It's volleyed high up into the London sky by Steve Cook, and that's a lovely take by Kone. Oh, he almost released Colley with the first time pass, but Manson's starting position was good, and the West Ham keeper clears upfield. Dunn nearly gave it away to Castellanos, and now it will be brought down in the left back position by Mbengue. One back by Somerville, scorer of West Ham's goal in first half stoppage time. He tries to wriggle into the penalty area, cleared as far as Mayers. Mayers with a low ball, comes to Somerville again, right-footed shot deflected over the bar. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, brilliant link-up play on this left-hand side. Good spot as Baz there from Myers, just on the left-hand corner, 18-yard box. Just rolls it square to Somerville, gets the ball out of his feet. I think he's just going to try and whip it into Walsh's top left-hand corner. Really good defending from QPR's point of view. Dunn just makes sure that he gets himself full stretch, gets his block in. Corner for West Ham on their left-hand side.
West Ham 1, QPR 1. 13 minutes of normal time to go. Corner from the left. Freddie Potts will take it towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed on by Todibo, but it's going to go behind. Is it for a goal kick? It's in fact kept in play by Smith, and he's played it forward to Kone. Not got too many hoop jerseys over the halfway line here, QPR, so Todibo comes sliding in. I think they're quite content to settle for the throw.
Yeah, Todibo was the one who actually got the flick on from the corner initially, and then just made sure that he got his recovery run in. Norrington Davis did really well actually, because Smith didn't have a lot of options on that left-hand side, so Norrington Davis made sure that he made that run down the left. Todibo does really well, slides the ball out. This game has got more stretch now, Cookery.
It's been a much better second half.
It has. It's just been better tempo. So it's because QPR has been a lot more aggressive. You know, they've actually thought, which at half-time, Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, would have said, look, if you believe in yourselves, I believe that you can beat this West Ham team.
Good run by Bowen, down the right touchline. Leaves the ball for Pablo. Pablo looking for Somerville. Controls it well, 10 yards outside the box. Then a back heel back to Pablo. Here's Castellanos for West Ham. Urged to shoot. Right-footed, does shoot from the edge of the penalty area, and it's tipped over the bar by Walsh. It was right at him, but he still needed to react, the QPR keeper.
Yeah, good strike from Castellanos, just linking up with Somerville. Little flick from Somerville, rolls his foot over the top of the ball to Pablo, gets it to Castellanos. Castellanos just puts his foot through it, and just at the last minute, Crooked, it looked like it was going straight down the barrel for Walsh, and it just swerved at the last minute, and he managed to get his right palm to it to tip it over for a corner for West Ham over on their right-hand side.
It's their fifth corner of the game, West Ham. We mentioned that QPR struggle with set pieces in their own division. Bowen towards the near post, met by, I think, Castellanos, but his header loops up into the air and is grabbed from the sky by Walsh. Immediately bowls it out to his right-hand side, and Mbengi, 10-men Hearts, by the way, have beaten Dundee 1-0. They're 6 points clear in Scotland of both Rangers and Celtic. Smith with the ball forward. Kone just inside the area. He's got Kilman for company, so he just rolls it out to Dembele. Dembele with a left-footed cross towards the far post, and Manson should deal with that. Climbs above Colley and plucks the ball neatly from the air. 1-1 the score, and we're into the last 10 minutes of the game here. Arsenal have beaten Portsmouth by 4-1. Leeds are into round 4. Both those teams coming from behind. Arsenal at Pompey and Leeds at Derby. Here's Somerville into the penalty area. Can he get a shot off here? Oh, it loops up in the air via a deflection. Not clear yet for QPR. Castellanos down for Freddie Potts, who shoots. That's blocked. And now the ball is at the feet of Colley, just on the edge of the centre circle. This game is end-to-end in the second half.
Yeah, it's turning like an NBA game, as you said there. It's better tempo about it, to and fro. Both teams are going to look for the winner with 10 minutes to go. Somerville cut in from the left-hand side, and Benga did really well, actually, Crookie. He made sure that he just tracked his run and blocked the shot.
I think we're going to get a winner, Perry. I don't think this game is going to extra time.
Loving your positivity, Crookie. But both teams are looking for the winner. That's why, Crookie. Because the game's got a lot more stretch. From QPR's point of view, you've got Colley and Kone up front, where they're isolated in the first half. They've been more involved, obviously, in the second half. I have to say, we said when Sato went off, Smith will give him something different. He has. He's actually given more energy. He's actually given more impetus. And he's carried the ball really well. That got QPR further up the pitch, and they created a really good equaliser. A lot of quality from Dembele and the cross, and a really clever little header from Kone.
I think we're going to see at least one, maybe two alterations for QPR. One or two of their players are looking just a little bit tired, having gone toe-to-toe with the Premier League team for 82 minutes. 1-1 the score. Don't forget, over on Talksport, they are not far from kick-off. 10 minutes away at Old Trafford, where Manchester United take on Brighton in the FA Cup third round.
Get a bit nervous?
I'm just focusing on the job in hand, and hopefully by the time we come off air, United will be 2-0 up and cruising.
Ever the professional.
Sam Field is one of the players who is coming on, and we're going to see Daniel Benny as well for QPR, so a double alteration. Maybe Julian Stefan is already thinking towards that extra half an hour of extra time. Just on that Hearts victory I was telling you about, by the way, 43-year-old Craig Gordon coming on as sub and pulled off an astonishing save to ensure the 10 men held on for the 3 points. That is another talking point from what's been a really intriguing weekend. Here come the changes for Queen's Park Rangers. Benny is on for Dembele. Dembele was one of those that looked like his race was run. And also Reece Norrington-Davis is going to be replaced by Sam Field. He's a midfielder by trade, Perry, but can fill in at left back.
Just fresh legs there from Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, just trying to inject a little bit of energy into his QPR side.
Will either manager really want the extra half an hour? I mentioned the injury problems that QPR have got. Obviously West Ham, their main priority is Premier League survival. They had a tough game here against Forest in the Premier League on Tuesday night.
No, both managers want to go for the winner, Crookie. They said they want that extra half an hour. And that's who can create that chance, you know, had that little bit of ingenuity, little bit of invention to try and win their team the game.
Well, we've got 7 minutes plus stoppage time for the winner. West Ham 1, QPR 1 here on Talksport 2. This is the 9th of our 11 FA Cup third round commentaries. Manchester United, Brighton still to come today, and then tomorrow night, after the draw for the 4th round, we'll have Liverpool at home to Barnsley. Which one of these two will be in the hat for that 4th round? QPR with their miserable record at this stage of the competition. West Ham haven't been there in 3 years either. Something always had to give. Nothing to split them so far, despite the 11 places between them in the pyramid.
Yeah, Todibo just picking the ball up in the centre circle for West Ham. Just trying to force a little bit. Maybe should we just roll it into midfield, into Potts or into Souček. Just try to sweep it out to somewhere on this left-hand side. Over-clubbed. Ball just goes out for throw for QPR in the right back position.
Looks like Hull Blackburn 0-0 and Swansea 1, West Brom 1 are both heading for extra time. Norwich are going through against Walsall, and Mansfield still leading 4-3 at Sheffield United. They'll be ball number 32 in that 4th round draw. Mansfield live on Talksport around 6:35 tomorrow. Here is Max Kilman for West Ham. Arrows his pass out to the right hand side, looking for Bowen, but a good header away by Field, who's just come on. Do seem to have taken a bit of momentum out of QPR. They had their tails up, didn't they, after that equalising goal from Kone, but West Ham dictating the pace of the game once again now.
Yep. Souček has made a difference in that midfield area, just a bit of physical presence. Again, he can just help guide Potts, you know, and just direct him where he needs to go.
Here is Souček over the halfway line for West Ham, plays it to his left, and Kilman, only Todibo and the goalkeeper Hermansen back inside the West Ham half. Here's Mayers, who looks like he's going to play the full 90 plus potentially an extra half an hour. The teenager Souček into Somerville 10 yards outside the area, drifts away to the right and then finds Jarrod Bowen, with the rain still teeming down. Bowen with a cross into the box, headed away by Dunn, and Kilman, I don't know why he shot from there. 40 yards, left foot volley. I'm not sure you're going to score from there, Max Kilman, particularly not on current form.
That was Mad Max, wasn't it? Well, Max Kilman. Know your limitations, but it's good play from the referee Thomas Kirk. Have just warned Walsh, the QPR goalkeeper, about wasting time.
It's going to be a free kick, is it, for West Ham? Or a corner, sorry. That's the new rule, isn't it? If the goalkeeper hangs onto the ball for too long,
when he gave him his
gives a corner away.
8 seconds warning, then you put your hand up. Well, went countdown from 5. So
this could be costly. I mean, you don't see it implemented too often since the rule change in the summer, but QPR not great at defending set pieces. They could do without conceding a corner for no reason. Potts with the ball into the area towards the far post, and it looks like it's headed off the line by Kone, is it? Wow. West Ham inches away from taking the lead. Good delivery by Potts towards the far post. It's Souček's header, and Kone in front of his own goalkeeper heads it behind for a 7th West Ham corner of the afternoon.
Yeah, good delivery from Potts. He's going to do exactly the same with this one.
Yep, towards the far post again. The goalkeeper punches it down, but gets good distance on it this time. Mayers just ushers it back to Wan-Bissaka, and he in turn is going to roll it back to Hermansen. You can hear the wolf whistles from the West Ham fans from their own corner. They ended up with the ball at the feet of the goalkeeper.
To be fair, Wan-Bissaka didn't have a lot of choice there, because Kone was one closing down. So discretion was the better part of valour, made sure that West Ham kept possession.
Norwich have got a fifth at home to Walsall. They lead 5-1 in that FA Cup third round tie. 1-1 here with 3 minutes to the 90 to play. It's all West Ham. Freddie Potts back to Kilman on the edge of the centre circle. Kilman to Souček. Souček plays it out to his right, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka halfway inside QPR territory. Nobody is leaving the London Stadium early today, despite the fact the temperature has really dipped in this second half. It's absolutely freezing now with the rain coming down. Well won back by Isaac Hayden inside his own half of QPR, and then the goalkeeper Walsh is going to play it upfield. Colley trying to make it stick, gets there ahead of Todibo, and then away from Souček and from Potts. Good play by Colley. Out to the right-hand side he goes. An opportunity maybe for a cross to come in here with Mbengi. Mbengi from the right-hand side. Kone's made a dart to the near post, and he just cushions his shot straight into the arms of Mads Hermansen. Routine save for the West Ham keeper.
Yeah, Kone just trying to get himself across Kilman at near post. Decent ball in from Mbengi from this right-hand side. Just whipped it in across the 6-yard box. Kone just trying to get across Kilman. Couldn't quite get the right purchase on it.
It's full time now at Carrow Road. Norwich 5, Walsall 1. Into extra time. Swansea 1, West Brom 1. And it's finished at Bramall Lane. The big upset of the afternoon. Sheffield United 3, League 2 Mansfield 4. What a cup tie. Still honours even here. We're 90 seconds away from the end of normal time. It's 1 apiece.
So the mighty Stags. Brilliant result for them.
No doubt it'll be Arsenal against Mansfield in the 4th round. Just to keep your lucky run going. Arsenal 4-1 winners at Fratton Park early today, live on Talksport. And they're just about to get underway at Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on Brighton. Here, though, we are no nearer to finding out which of these London clubs will make it through to the next phase of the competition. And having been confident we would get a winning goal, I'm less confident now in the last minute of the 90 that we're not heading for extra time.
Well, I think what's happened, you said there, like it looked like QPR had the impetus with Kone got his equalising goal, really good glancing header, and then they've just actually sat back, and West Ham have managed to grapple, control of the game without really creating any sort of clear-cut chances. But I think QPR, after they scored the equaliser in the 65th minute, they've gone back to the passive QPR, what they were in the first half, where I thought that, the game elongated and they were going to try and craft a winner themselves. At the moment, you'd have to say it's West Ham who look more likely.
Because for 5 or 6 minutes after Kone equalised, it looked like they had West Ham on the back foot. And it's not really anything that Nuno Espirito Santo has done tactically. It's just that, as you mentioned, QPR have retreated back into their shell and been happy just to sit deep without the ball. Here is Somerville. We're about to find out how many added minutes there will be. Somerville, though, into Castellanos. Castellanos looks up inside the area, tries to pick out Somerville. It's cleared away, and we're into 4 added minutes. 4 minutes for one of these two to find the winner before extra time. Queen's Park Rangers on the attack with Colley down the right. Kone crying out for the early ball. Not a brilliant one from Colley. It was a tired pass and picked up inside the area by Thomas Souček.
Colley didn't actually look like he had the energy to actually put his foot through the ball, did he, and strike it like 40-50 yards, because Kone was completely unmarked on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. And it was just a really tired effort. And
immediately they've called back one of their substitutes, Queen's Park Rangers, so maybe we're going to see another change. Here is Aaron Wan-Bissaka down the right. We've played one of the 4 added minutes already. It's still 1 apiece. Ball cleared by Field on the edge of the QPR box away to our left. Souček finds Kilman. Kilman well forward. Urged to shoot, instead chips the ball into the area. Bowen tries to head it down. Overhead kick attempt by Pablo. Didn't make clean contact with the ball, and it's cleared away by Jimmy Dunn, the QPR captain.
Yeah, just Jared Bowen heading the ball back across the 18-yard box. Maybe Pablo's better. He tried to chest it, went for the weldy, missed the ball completely.
Somerville, level with the penalty area, crosses right-footed, diving header clear this time by Dunn. And then Colley again can't make the ball stick. There are some tired legs out there now, particularly for the Championship side. 1-1 in the 92nd minute at the London Stadium. There will be a QPR change next time there's a stoppage in play. Aaron Wan-Bissaka forward to Bowen, trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Was he dragged to the floor? Yes, he was. Cheap free kick conceded. And an opportunity, probably, for one last West Ham attack before we head into extra time. He was having his shirt pulled there.
Yeah,
by Madsen.
Just giving away an unnecessary free kick. Jarrod Bowen just backing in. Madsen getting a bit frustrated, but just get your arms away from Bowen. Don't drag him down. This probably be the last chance for West Ham. See if they can craft the winner.
Well, it's also Madsen's last impact. It is Colley. Madsen stays on. It's Colley, and immediately after he played that tie across into the area, Julian Stephan signalled for Kieran Morgan, and he's come on to replace him. They've got a free kick to defend, though, in the third of 4 added minutes. It's West Ham 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Can West Ham nick it at the end of normal time? They've got a line of claret jerseys, 6 or 7 of them, level with the penalty spot. Needs a good ball in this time from Freddie Potts. Souček will be up there. So is Bowen. It's towards Souček at the far post, but it was hanging in the air and he couldn't really make clean contact with the header. And now QPR might have the chance to counter in the final minute of added time. That's a poor ball straight to Mayers, and he'll just help it back to the goalkeeper Hermansen. I think we might need the extra half an hour.
Yes, it's really poor ball from Madsen. Just needs to overhit it, try and get it into Benayoun on this right hand side. Getting West Ham fans getting frustrated with Hermansen, wanting him to just hoof the ball up the pitch a little bit quicker.
And they tried to aim it in towards Souček. It was headed away by Dunn. We've got only 20 seconds to go. They scored in stoppage time, West Ham, at the end of the first half through Somerville, cancelled out by the header from Kone. Midway through the second, is there to be a late sting in this cup tie before extra time? Here is Max Kilman, just inside the QPR half. Diagonal ball towards the right corner of the area, well defended again by Field this time, and then Smith volleys it forward, and I think that surely will be that for normal time. Referee is allowing play to go on. West Ham in possession, chip forward. Oh, Castellanos couldn't get on the end of it. It was just a hopeful ball forward by Todibo. Castellanos tried to meet it on the volley, knowing the goalkeeper was off his line. Had he have made contact, it could well be 2-1 West Ham. Instead, it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the last chance in normal time, Crookie, because it was a good ball actually from Todibo, just trying to free Castellanos in that right-hand channel. He said there he knew that Walsh had just come off his line and just tried to stretch, hoping he can volley it over top of him. Couldn't make contact with it. Goal kick for QPR, which Walsh will just smash up the pitch.
Premier League, you're having a laugh. That's the song from the travelling Queen's Park Rangers fans, because the full-time whistle has blown. We do need an extra half an hour. West Ham took the lead deep into first half stoppage time. Crescencio Somerville with his first goal of the season, but the header from Richard Kone midway through the second half has kept QPR's hopes of a place in the fourth round alive. After normal time, it has finished here at the London Stadium. West Ham United 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
It's frothy football, man.
FA Cup Game Day
On Talksport 2.
Jim White and Simon Jordan on Talksport. Mid-morning radio that's up for the job.
We spent £500 million to get precisely nowhere.
Concrete sports talk.
It really is incredible.
Rapid setting opinion.
You're not justifying it, but you're explaining it. It doesn't need an explanation.
Big names, all bagged up.
Anthony Joshua, good afternoon.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Delivered tomorrow morning from 10 on Talksport by Selco Builders Warehouse. Check stock at your local branch. We've got it at selcobw.com.
Wrap up with great savings in the Vodafone winter sale. Get reliable full fibre broadband from only £24 per month. Hurry, this amazing deal ends the 28th of January. Plus, switching is easy with one-touch switch. So, go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Was £26 per month on a 24-month contract, subject to credit check acceptance and availability. Terms at vodafone.co.uk/terms.
Imagine your dream holiday made possible by comparing cheap flights on Kayak. Walking on an unspoilt goes on for miles beach on the Sardinian coast, plunging into the splendour of an idyllic lagoon in Greece. Ah, yes, this is the life. All you have to do is actually book it. Don't holidays. Use Kayak to compare prices from hundreds of travel sites and airlines to find your dream deal. Search Kayak and go see for yourself.
People are tuning into radio more than ever. Advertise here and get your message heard by up to 6.5 million switched on listeners every week. Email radio@news.co.uk.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men. It's about time we stood together against it. Prostate Cancer UK.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to dance. 10 more robots, 10 more Limbos, 10 more salsas. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires this Friday.
Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
King of football commentary.
FA Cup Game Day
on Talksport 2.
Well, here we are at the London Stadium where after 90 plus minutes it's finished. Premier League West Ham 1, Championship QPR 1. The Hammers taking the lead deep into first half stoppage time through Crescencio Somerville. But Richard Kone with a header guided into the far corner on 65 minutes has taken us to extra time. The Queen's Park Rangers players and coaching staff all stood in a huddle in front of their technical area. West Ham are going to make a couple of changes for the start of this extra half an hour. Carl Walker-Peters is one of those who is coming on. So fresh legs, the order of the day for Nuno Espirito Santo, Ollie Scarles as well. So two fullbacks being called on. And Ezra Mayers, who played the whole of normal time, the teenager, makes way for Scarles. And I'd imagine it'll be Walker-Peters for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who picked up a yellow card.
Yeah, Walker-Peters just come on the right-hand side, the right back, and Scarles like for like with Mayers on the left-hand side. And you have to say it was West Ham who were pushing for the winner. Crookie went the last 15 minutes of that first half, but they just, again, which sort of epitomised the whole of the West Ham players. They couldn't have that little bit of quality, to craft like a chance, let alone score the winning goal.
They had 78% possession, West Ham, in those final 15 minutes, but as you say, didn't really turn that possession into any clear-cut opportunities. They're underway over on Talksport. Looks like a bright start from Manchester United, 0-0 with Brighton very early on there. And here at London Stadium, it will be Queen's Park Rangers to get this extra half an hour underway. Are you an advocate, Perry, for scrapping extra time and going straight to penalties?
I must admit, Crookie, I would go straight to penalties because, let's be honest, none of the players want extra time, the managers don't want it, and I don't even think the fans want it. But if you go into extra time and your team ends up winning, then you're going to be happy about it. But as I say, just looking at the QPR players, I just thought they looked a little bit leggy, didn't they, in that last 15-20 minutes. Just whether they've got that energy, that sort of inspiration, they can get themselves in front.
Well, if I can read my scribblings, I'll run you through the two lineups for the start of this extra time period in a moment, but there is going to be a long throw in here for QPR to be taken by Mbengi, almost level with the 18-yard box. QPR in their blue and white hoop jerseys are attacking the goal away to our left. He's got good leverage on the throw in as well, and it's cleared away, I think, by Jarrod Bowen on the edge of his own penalty area, but QPR trying to put it back into the danger zone, then it's cleared towards the centre circle. Bit of head tennis on the edge of the West Ham box as QPR launched it forward again, and Kone with a shot charged down by Jean-Claire Todibo. This is very positive from the visitors early in the first period of extra time. Kone can he keep the ball in play? Just about, and he hammers his pass against Sam Field and out for a throw. So West Ham now with Mads Hermansen as their goalkeeper, Walker-Peters right back, Scarles left back, Todibo and Kilman in the centre. Then you've got Bowen and Somerville out wide with Potts and Souček in midfield, and it's Pablo and Castellanos up front. For QPR, Walsh in goal. The back four is Mbengi, Dunn, Cook and Field. You've got Benny on the left-hand side of midfield, Smith on the right, Hayden is in the middle with Madsen, and then it's Kone and Morgan now in attack. Both managers using their benches to the full as we move into this extra half an hour, of which we've played 2 minutes already.
Both managers have obviously gone Mike Bassett 4-4-2. West Ham's point of view, Jared Bowen out on this right-hand side hasn't really...
I've been disappointed by him. Although here he is trying to take on the left-back field, cross into the area. Souček helped it goalwards, and it almost just hit the keeper Walsh, and he managed to claw it away.
Yeah,
Not sure that Joe Walsh knew too much about it.
Yeah, just a reaction save from Joe Walsh at his near post. Good play from Jared Bowen, just going on the outside, getting his cross in with his right foot. Souček getting himself across the near post, just come off his right thigh.
Well, they're a bit fortunate because he made the save and then it bounced back off Souček. Could have gone anywhere, goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, so it was a good reaction save actually from Walsh at his near post with a big right palm. It's just showing the threat there of Souček, you know, physical presence in the 18-yard box, doing what a centre forward should do, getting himself across the near post. Just couldn't quite guide it with his right thigh. First chance created in the second half goes to West Ham.
And here's Carl Walker-Peters, should be full of running, having just come on as a full-time substitute. Plays it infield to Souček, who, under pressure from Kone, passes the ball all the way back to his goalkeeper Hermansson. 1-1 the score for those of you just joining us. We're into an extra half an hour here after the teams were level at full-time. Somerville firing West Ham in front in the first half. Kone with a header equalising with a rare goal really since his £5 million move from Wickham in the summer, midway through the second.
Was it sixth goal of the season?
Yeah, and only his second since about October. Kone, who scored a lot of goals, didn't he, at Wickham Wanderers. He was playing in the 9th tier only 2 years ago, Richard Kone. It really has been quite a dramatic rise.
It's a brilliant story, Crookie, as well, because he actually played in the Homeless World Cup.
He did.
Which, you know, so inspiration, you know, to any young footballer out there.
Manchester United have fallen behind over on Talksport. Brian Gruder with a goal for Brighton, 1-0 there.
Against Brighton, Man United against Brighton reserves, isn't it?
Not what Darren Fletcher, as he tries to stake his claim to be kept on until the end of the season, would have wanted early on, but it is early. He says with hope of more than expectation.
That was more desperation.
Dear, oh dear. Well, they're probably not going to win the FA Cup, are they? Let's be honest. Anyway, 1-0 to Brighton there. 1-1 here on Talksport 2. Here's Freddie Potts. Plays the ball out to his left-hand side and Pablo. They've not been a bad double act, though, have they, Pablo and Castellanos? They held the ball up neatly at times. Here's Somerville, riding one challenge, playing the ball into Castellanos. Now to Souček, look to find Bowen in space. Maybe one pass too many. Only cleared as far as Walker-Peters. Bowen then on to Souček. Walker-Peters made the overlapping dart. His cross is charged down, and West Ham have their first corner of extra time. 1-1.
Yeah, good defending from Field, who's playing in sort of the left-back position rather than playing in midfield. Come out to Walker-Peters on this right-hand side, deflected for a corner. Jared Bowen again will whip it in with his left foot, in swinging underneath Walsh's crossbar.
Yeah, and they have been a threat all afternoon from these set pieces. Bowen towards the near post, not his best one actually, and headed away with relative ease. And then out of play for a Queen's Park Rangers throw on this near side. Kieran Morgan made sure of that.
And there's a poor corner from Jared Bowen. Got to make sure that worst plays out. You missed the player at the near post. Thomas Souček just tried to retrieve it, sliding in, tried to put it back out to Jared Bowen, just ended up putting it out of play. The referee, Thomas Kirk, is telling QPR and Sam Field in particular to hurry up and take the throw in.
I think QPR probably would settle for penalties even at this early stage, 6 minutes into extra time. 1-1. I mentioned Mads Hermansson playing for his West Ham future. Might have to do that in a shootout. Here's Somerville though, just inside the penalty area. Good shot towards the bottom corner, and an equally good save by Walsh down to his left because it came through a very crowded box. He had to watch it all the way, and he managed to claw it behind for another West Ham corner.
Yeah, brilliant play from West Ham, two wide men. Jared Bowen coming in from the right-hand side, just squaring it to Somerville, left hand of the 18-yard box, just gets it onto his right foot, just bends it with his instep. Looks like it's going to go low down to Walsh's left-hand side, and that's in the back of net. Fantastic save from Walsh, full length from his left hand. palms it away for a corner for West Ham on their right-hand side.
And those QPR fans behind the goal got a really good view of it. 1-1, corner for West Ham. Looks like it's going to be Freddie Potts here to deliver. Again, a very congested 6-yard box in front of the goalkeeper Walsh, towards the far stick, but over the head of everybody in claret jerseys, and swells behind tamely for a goal kick. It was Ollie Scarles who took the corner.
Yeah, but I don't get that. Jared Bowen's obviously West Ham captain. You're looking for a bit of inspiration, and his corners in the first 90 minutes were decent corners. He only hit one bad one, which was the one he'd just taken previously into near post. You think, no, actually, I'll still take it, and I'll whip it under Walsh's crossbar. Gives it to Scarles. Scarles then over clubs, just puts too much loft in it, goes out for a goal kick.
98 minutes on the clock. West Ham 1, QPR 1. Midway through this first period of extra time at the London Stadium. Kone trying to hold it up on the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Is he going to get it back here? Kone not quite. Walker-Peters in to clear up field. And then Steve Cook under pressure just hooks it back into West Ham territory, but it's not there for very long. Somerville, 2 Scarles on the left-hand side. 4 West Ham players ahead of him. Lovely turn by Somerville. Somerville now into the penalty area. Can he pick out a teammate? Castellanos with the header. His first West Ham goal may just be enough to send the Hammers into the 4th round. It was brilliant wing play by Somerville. The turn to work himself into space for the cross was exquisite. And when he needed to deliver, he delivered. Castellanos could not miss. And midway through the first period of extra time, it is West Ham 2, QPR 1.
Brilliant play from Crescencio Somerville on that left-hand side. It's a Cruyff turn and drag back, gets himself to the byline. Then you actually think, have you got the quality? Can you pick the right pass? Can you pick the right cross? Exactly what he does. The closer you get to the byline, he's got to dink it up the far post. It's a brilliant header from Castellanos on the far post, rises early, just heads the ball down, gives Walsh absolutely no chance, low down to his left-hand side. Took West Ham 2-1 up here at London Stadium against QPR.
And QPR react with a change. Adamson coming on for Mbengi. Mbengi having just been done on that QPR right by Somerville, and Castellanos starts to repay the fee and maybe gives West Ham fans hope that he can do that in the Premier League.
Well, actually, Mbenge's got to pay to get back in the stadium, Crookie. And I think he might have done his cruciate as well, because it was such a brilliant turn from Somerville. And we said, Crookie, that the one West Ham player who has shown that little bit of spark, a bit of creativity, is Crescencio Somerville. Obviously got the goal in the first half, brilliant finish with his left foot, and then he's crafted the second one with a great dink cross with his foot, the far post. Castellanos, a brilliant centre forwards headed goal on the edge of 6-yard box at the far post, gave Walsh absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Well, the last time we saw Keeley Adamson in a QPR shirt was in a 7-1 defeat at Coventry. That one of his 2 championship appearances, but the Aussie is on here for Mbengi, and for the second time this afternoon into the evening, QPR will have to come from behind. They trail by 2-1. Castellanos with a header. And Nuno will believe that his side now can go on and claim a place in the 4th round. He led Wolves to the semi-finals. They were 2-0 up at Wembley. Wolves lost 3-2 to Troy Deeney's Watford, you may remember. The year that Watford were battered by Manchester City in the FA Cup final, but he's not had too much to cheer about since replacing the hapless Graham Potter. 11 points from 16 Premier League games, statistically the worst West Ham manager of the Premier League era. Now, who knows, maybe a victory today and the goal from Castellanos could be the springboard to a great relegation escape. Certainly, Perry, it will help in terms of confidence building.
Exactly, you want momentum, so you want a bit of positivity, which was sucked out of the London Stadium when Kone got his equaliser for QPR. Really good glancing header, but to be fair, since then, apart from that first 5 minutes, it's been West Ham have been the team who looked most likely to go on and win the game, because QPR just went too passive again. You know, they just sat back and decided to let West Ham come on to them. And as we said earlier, you said about Joe Bowen, being disappointed on this right-hand side, but Somerville has been outstanding for West Ham on the left-hand side, got himself a goal and assist. And Castellanos getting a headed goal in his second game for West Ham. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
We've played 102 minutes, so only 3 and a bit minutes of the first period of extra time remaining. It's West Ham 2, QPR 1. And really for the first time all afternoon, those QPR fans who've travelled in their number across London are looking a little bit glum, a little bit solemn. As West Ham lead in extra time. And you wonder how much the visitors have got left in the legs. They look very tired, didn't they? Many of the hoop-shirted players at the end of regulation time. Kilman with some defending to do down by the corner flag. He's put under pressure by Morgan. Manages to clear the ball away, but not very far. And then a foul given against Kone, score of the Queen's Park Rangers, equalising midway through the first half. No goals yet in extra time. Hull 0, Blackburn 0, Swansea 1, West Brom 1. And a reminder over on Talksport now, live and exclusive FA Cup third round commentary. It's Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. Brian Gruder with the goal for the Seagulls. 2-1 to West Ham here. And QPR, runners up in this famous old competition back in 1982, need an equaliser to stay in the cup this season. Here's Smith down the left-hand side, trying to take on Wan-Bissaka, and Soucek coming to the edge of the penalty area. Smith, and it was a challenge by Pablo that regained possession for West Ham. Smith has stayed down, with the referee not inclined to give a free kick. Bowen with room to turn inside his own area, looks to release Somerville again. The goalkeeper Walsh was alert on the edge of the area, and it rolls all the way through for him.
Yeah, Pablo did really well, just come nicking it off of Smith, getting it to Jarrod Bowen, and Jarrod Bowen just spotting the run of Crescencio Somerville coming in from that left-hand side. Again, just need a bit more lofted there from Jarrod Bowen. Just put too much pace on it, went all the way through to Walsh. Walsh enabled QPR obviously to get themselves back in possession. And it's whether QPR have got the energy to drag themselves up the pitch. And the one player who's looked likely for QPR has been Smith. Obviously came on as substitute for Sato in the first half.
They're coming down the right, QPR, but they've passed it straight to Somerville inside his own half, but he's got 3 up in support. Somerville, he just slipped as he looked to play it forward, and that allows Sam Field to regain possession for the visitors in the final minute of normal time in this first period of extra time.
Yeah, QPR just playing it across the back.
And they're going to need an injection of urgency for the start of the second period, you feel, if they are to get back in this. Ball forward towards Kone, but comfortably dealt with by Kilman, and he was a bit isolated there, Kone, as that ball was fizzed up towards him. Here is Jarrod Bowen for West Ham, running at field, the makeshift left back. Into the penalty area, Bowen. Oh, he goes for goal from a tight angle. He lifts his shot high over the bar and out for a goal kick, as we're into 2 added minutes at the end of the first period of extra time. Where did they come from?
Yeah, Jarrod Bowen just find himself 1v1 with Field on this right-hand side for West Ham. Decides to go outside Field, who shows him on the outside, just gets it with his right foot. Should be really good, be going across goal to make Walsh make a save, but decides to try and keep the goalkeeper honest at his near post. Just goes soaring over the crossbar.
Rangers looking to go second in the Scottish Premiership. They have taken the lead away from home. They lead Rangers by a 1-0 at managerless Aberdeen. Hearts 1-0 winners earlier today opened up a 6-point gap on the Old Firm clubs. And that will be down to 3 if Rangers see out that victory. Here we're into the second added minute. It's a free kick for West Ham United.
Nice little result for Talksport's Martin O'Neill, wasn't it, going back in charge, 4-0. Football's quite simple, really, isn't it?
If they didn't make the change, they'd have added a cup to the cabinet, wouldn't they? And probably would be top of the league if they just left Martin O'Neill in charge. West Brom have taken the lead in extra time at Swansea in that all-championship affair. Swansea 1, West Brom 2. Chris Ramsey, current coach of Minnesota United, about to take over the manager duties at West Brom. And it's still 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn in extra time as well. Walker-Peters takes a throw in for West Ham, down by the right corner flag. They lead 2-1 here, and the added minutes at the end of the first period of extra time pretty much are up. West Ham just keeping the ball, but it's one back well there inside his own half by Isaac Hayden, but again they can't keep it for very long, QPR. Here's Walker-Peters, Bowen giving it back to Walker-Peters, chance to get across him from this right hand side. A third goal would kill off the tie, but QPR have cleared it, and there is the half-time whistle. Well, they led in normal time, West Ham United, before being penned back by that goal from Kone. They lead at half-time and extra time. Tati Castellanos with his first goal since that £26 million move from Lazio, a header after an excellent piece of wing play by man of the match Crescencio Somerville. Perry, how do QPR get back in this?
I don't think, I'm just looking at Crookie, I don't think they've got the energy to get themselves back into it. We said obviously West Ham dominated possession in the full 90 minutes, and I think because of the work that QPR put in off the ball, so I'm not sure if they've got that energy in their legs. If you're looking for one of the subs, to have that bit of inspiration, Benny has come on the right hand side. You got Field obviously gone into left back position. Smith has done really well, but he's been on since the first sort of 20 minutes. So the only way you can really see QPR get themselves back into the game, Crookie, if they can force a set piece or force a corner and maybe create a few problems. Other than that, this is about West Ham just managing this second period of extra time, because again the game has stretched, which will suit Jared Bowen on this right hand side and somebody on the left hand side. So we see that a little bit of positivity. Some of the West Ham fans started to sing there, didn't they? They thought, oh no, I can't be bothered.
Well, it's the Jared Bowen song, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's being belted out on the PA just to try and whip up the atmosphere ahead of the second period of extra time.
Should be Somerville's on fire.
I mean, he has been head and shoulders the best player on the pitch, hasn't he, Somerville? Scored the first goal, very much made the second, and it's just been a great outlet and a tormentor of the QPR defence all afternoon.
Yeah, and Bengay said after play to get back in the stadium, it was a fantastic spin and turn from Somerville, and then picked out the right cross. Obviously had the disappointment of having the disallowed goal against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday night, which would have put West Ham 2-0 up. So he's the one player that's looked full of confidence. The first half, we thought a game of football might break out quickly, didn't we? Because it was like a practice game with one team having a lot of possession. West Ham, QPR just letting them play in front of them, even though Somerville got West Ham in front in the 10th minute of added on time in the first half. And then QPR get themselves back into it. Kone with a lovely little glancing header, and I thought the momentum had shifted, Crookie. Then I thought QPR looked, the more accomplished. They had a good 5-minute spell, and then West Ham, Souček has made a difference in that centre midfield for West Ham as well. Just give them a bit of surety and authority in there. And
I think Walker-Peters as an attacking threat has offered more than Wan-Bissaka as well.
Well, Wan-Bissaka, we said he couldn't cross the road, could he? In the first full 90 minutes, his final delivery left a lot to be desired. Here the West Ham faithful rousing their team now. This 15 minutes of the second period of extra time. Can they just see the game out and get some positivity around the London Stadium?
Well, no change in personnel for the second half of extra time. We are back underway. West Ham attacking the goal away to our left in this second 15 minutes in their claret jerseys, white shorts and white socks, and straight away the ball is launched up towards Pablo, but cleared by QPR. Kone can't make it stick inside the centre circle, and then Isaac Hayden with a challenge on Bowen. Bowen goes to ground theatrically, but again the referee says play on. Quite rightly, in my opinion. It was a firm but fair challenge from Hayden, and now QPR have a throw over on the far touchline. 2-1 West Ham lead. 2-2 now, Swansea West Brom in extra time. Swansea have equalised in that game.
He refereed the game well, actually, Thomas Kirkers, and he just let it flow. Maybe he doesn't feel the pressure again of VAR. Crookie, looked like he's actually enjoyed himself, which you don't see Premier League referees do that.
Long throw in, about to be launched into the box by QPR. Took a flick off a West Ham head at the near post. I think it was Todibo. So QPR have a corner. Haven't had too many over the course of the 107 minutes that we've played, plus all that stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Yeah, good throw from Field, who's just come on and sub in the first half. Todibo heading it off
QPR
for a corner,
attacking the goal behind which their supporters are situated. Nicholas Madsen about to whip in the free kick. It's a looping one towards the far stick, helped on by Phil, or by Morgan rather, but didn't really meet that with any great conviction, and West Ham able to clear for a throw. Again, you'd imagine this is going to go long into the area.
Yeah, Smith has got a proper long throw. He'll reach it into at least the near post.
You've got the area where the running track used to be, so you can get maximum leverage here. Ball flicked on by Dunn, but again West Ham clear, and there's a chance here for Jarrod Bowen to come sprinting away down the right hand side. He's got Somerville in the centre. Pablo joining late as well. Bowen has just kept the ball down by the corner flag. Maybe could have been a little bit more ambitious, but he's played it back to the halfway line, and Thomas Soucek. As much about game management now as anything else from West Ham United. Bowen with the ball, played out to Carl Walker-Peters, right corner of the penalty area. Soucek delivers to the near post, headed away by Cook, and then picked up on the edge of the centre circle by Todibo.
He did well actually at Sandfield defensively. Looked like Jarrod Bowen was going to get away from him. Just showed a little bit of pace, just lent on Jarrod Bowen, just shepherded out further to that right hand side. Jarrod Bowen had to come back, as you said there, to Walker-Peters and go all the way back to Hermanson. But you said there, now it's just West Ham having to keep possession, don't give cheap passes away. QPR trying to put on the full court press.
Bowen gives the ball away cheaply on halfway, and then Dunn, in his desire to get it forward quickly, has just passed it straight to Max Kilman, the left-sided centre-back for West Ham.
Yeah, trying to ping it into Morgan, who was unmarked in West Ham's half, but it just missed him completely. Just give it away cheaply. It's Potts on the ball, just to keep it ticking over for West Ham.
2-1-2 the Hammers, and we've played 4 minutes of the second half of extra time. QPR really showing little sign, Perry, of getting back into the game for the second time.
Yeah, I think in the second half they were more aggressive, weren't they? They closed down, they got their tackles in, they made it more physical. But I think as the game wore on, because they did so much chasing in that first half and West Ham had possession, then they haven't been able to get close enough to make it aggressive against West Ham after they actually equalised.
Well, they're trying to now, because West Ham gave it away, passing out from the back, but Kone has just run into Todibo on the edge of the penalty area. Somerville trying to break down the left. Well won back by Jimmy Dunn, the captain for QPR. He's carried the ball all the way to the right corner flag, and then I think he's been penalised for a foul on Scarles. Dunn can't quite believe it that the assistant referee gave a free kick against him.
Well, Dunn has been done, because you say he did really well initially, just mauling down that right hand side. Oliver Scarles just limping away, but I don't think it was a foul. I think it was just the coming to... Actually, it was a foul on Dunn, because Scarles has sort of slid in and caught him with his right foot, and then he's just fallen over. I have no idea what the assistant is doing in front of him.
He had a brilliant view.
Was he half a yard away?
West Ham are going to make a change, and actually it's a player who could well be departing in this transfer window. Guido Rodriguez, the midfielder, is coming on. One or two boos from the home supporters, and it's Tati Castellanos whose goal at the moment is going to send West Ham into round 4, who makes way.
Yep, he gets a nice round of applause from the West Ham fans. We said there it was a very good centre forward's header for a brilliant cross from Somerville. Headed it down, give Walsh absolutely no chance, and he'll be hoping that he'll be the player that gets the winner for West Ham to get him through this third round tie.
Guido Rodriguez, one of those players, plethora of them, signed by Tim Steidten when he was sporting director at the start of last season. He's only made 2 Premier League starts this campaign. The Argentine, as I say, there are strong suggestions he'll be allowed to go out on loan, but he's on here for the final 9 minutes of extra time to try and see West Ham over the winning line. They've made 5 changes now, same as QPR. And it's the Championship side who are still trying to find a way back into this match. Castellanos' header in the first period of extra time at the moment separates the two teams.
Rodriguez could just go like the deeper of the midfield.
He's just played a nice ball forward to Somerville though. Somerville running it down. Ran into a crowd of QPR jerseys and they win it back, and it's launched forwards towards Kone, headed away by Kilman. And then Scarles down the left-hand side for West Ham. We lead 2-1 with time running out for an equaliser.
Yeah, so Rodriguez will just play that deeper, just behind Souček and Freddie Potts, just to try and protect two centre-halves, Todibo and Kilman.
There's a nervous hush inside London Stadium. These West Ham fans haven't seen too many wins in recent weeks and months. Maybe they've forgotten how to celebrate, as Jarrod Bowen is tussling on the touchline with Sam Field, and Field with no choice in the end but to concede a corner.
Well, it's not a field of dreams for Sam, is it? Because it's good play from Jarrod Bowen down that right-hand side, chasing a lost cause, just putting Field under pressure, just nudging him off the ball. Sam Field then slides in. Corner for West Ham. We've now gone like a 4-3-3.
If it hadn't worked out as a footballer, do you think you might have been a sub-editor, a headline writer at one of the tabloids, maybe?
What, just like really obvious puns?
People have been doing that for years, making good money out of it. Corner for West Ham, who aren't in any great hurry to take it, but it is going to be Ollie Scarles, who made a mess of his last one, to whip this in, left-footed from the right-hand side, straight into the arms of the goalkeeper Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh catches it really well, but because QPR bring everybody back, then he's got no one to find. I always find it really strange that managers don't leave players out. I think we saw yesterday, didn't we, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Aston Villa, Unai Emery leaving 3 up. And worst ways out means the attacking team has to leave 3 back or maybe 4, and then you get a little bit more space even when you're defending, because the 6-yard box ain't so crowded, and if you do manage to get the first contact, then you can put the opposition under pressure.
Yeah, Aston Villa, one of a number of Premier League teams, will be in that 4th round draw tomorrow. We've lost Tottenham, we lost Forest, of course, on Friday night, and Palace, the holders, yesterday. Here's Bowen into the penalty area, could wrap it up here, left-footed shot blocked. Loose ball falls for Souček, 25 yards out, scoops the ball back into the area, it's headed clear, but at the moment West Ham have QPR exactly where they want them, penned back deep inside their own final third.
Yeah, just sort of toying with QPR at the moment. You say keep in possession, that's why Rodriguez has been brought on, just to keep the ball ticking over. So they've gone at 4-3-3 now, West Ham, obviously with Pablo through the middle, Jarrod Bowen on that right hand side and Somerville on the left hand side.
Here is Souček, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball forward, doesn't find its intended target, and then there was a handball, I think, by Rodriguez, so it's going to be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. They've only got 5 and a bit minutes now, plus whatever time is added on at the end of extra time to force this game into a penalty shootout. Everton, another Premier League team to crash out yesterday. Bournemouth, both losing on penalties to Sunderland and Newcastle, respectively. And of course, one of Manchester United or Brighton will be out as well. 1-0 Brighton over on Talksport. Brian Gruder with the early goal in that game. Still 5 minutes the first half to play. Here's Dunn into the penalty area for QPR. Need to get a decent looking delivery in here. Comes for Adamson, and he's been challenged by Somerville. It's out for a throw-in level with the 18-yard line. That's the signal for Paul Smith to come racing over to take this long throw once again.
Yeah, I think Dunn actually could have got his shot away with his right foot, tried to come back onto his left foot. Ball got cleared to Adamson. Good sliding tackle from Somerville. And Smith will hoist this ball into the 6-yard box.
Smith towards the corner of that 6-yard box, headed on towards Kone. He got something on it, Kone, but can only nod it away from goal, and ushered behind by Scarles under pressure. It's going to be a goal kick for West Ham, and they are slowly but surely getting towards the finish line here, towards the winning line, West Ham. They've gone to penalties, both at Hull and Swansea. 0-0 between Hull and Blackburn after extra time, 2-2 between Swansea and West Brom in that all-championship tie in South Wales. 2-1 West Ham lead here, and we've played 116 minutes.
Well, Julian Stefan, the QPR manager, has said he wants his team to go into a 3-4-1-2 formation. So basically, Jimmy Dunn, the QPR captain, who's centre half, he's gone the old-fashioned centre-half up front.
I'll tell you what, there was almost a bit of space there down the right for Morgan. He turned on the afterburners, got there ahead of Kilman, who to his credit managed to catch him up and slide in and retrieve possession. Now it's Somerville at the other end, taking on Cook into the penalty area. Good strength from Cook, not quite managed to win the ball back yet. Adamson does, and then Cook just knocks it forward to Smith.
But that is such good defending from Cook, because
it's a good ball by Smith as well to Debo for a minute. Looked like he was going to get caught underneath the ball before he headed it clear.
Yeah, just talking about Steve Cook's defending there. He's 1v1 with Somerville on the left-hand side for West Ham, and he actually showed Somerville where he wanted him to go. He just put him down that avenue where then he blocked it off, managed to get his block in, but because
Scholes with the ball out to the right, looking for Bowen. The goalkeeper was a little bit hesitant there, and it was left to Sam Field to clear it away.
Yeah, what's happening now is because Julian Stefan has said, obviously, Jimmy Dunn's gone to play up front. Basically, they're leaving 2 for 2 at the back with Jared Bowen and Somerville with their pace. Sam Field did really well there. So he was the last man, just made sure that he stretched, managed to hook it away for throwing for West Ham over on their right-hand side, which they're going to be in no hurry to take.
Man, not really. QPR had a meaningful chance since they fell behind in that first period of extra time. Castellanos with a header to make it 2-1, and it's been relatively comfortable for the Hammers since then, just in terms of keeping possession and running down the clock without being overly ambitious themselves. Here's Walker-Peters down by the corner flag. He's been fouled by Smith, and it's a free kick for West Ham with only 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, just a bit of frustration there from Smith. Somerville just trying to run the clock down in the corner. And then Walker-Peters just coming to him as well. And then Smith just comes in from behind, slides in, fouls Walker-Peters. Quite rightly, Thomas Kirk, the referee, gives a free kick. Exactly where West Ham won it, deep in QPR's half.
I think those travelling supporters will be proud in one way with what they've seen from their team, but maybe a bit disappointed that they didn't capitalise more on this nervousness, this anxiety that clearly follows West Ham, particularly at home, by really taking the game to them at 0-0.
Yeah, I think at 0-0 in the first half, Crookie, but even when they equalised with Kone in the 65th minute, and again you think there's nervousness in the stadium, but unfortunately for QPR, apart from that sort of first 5 minutes after they equalised, then they just didn't seem like they had the energy, did they? Didn't they seem to have that sort of reserve in there to go on and go up another gear?
They have got a throw in though, after a challenge from Jared Bowen on the far side. It's midway inside West Ham territory, taken quickly back to halfway. We've got a minute plus stoppage time remaining. It's West Ham 2, QPR 1. Are they going to get one last big chance? Queen's Park Rangers to force a penalty shootout.
Well, they need to get it wide, Crookie, and they need, because they've got 5 players in the centre of the 18-yard box, and this is going to be probably their last chance. It's going to be a long throw again from Smith over on that left-hand side.
West Ham have dealt with most of these, haven't they? Smith about to catapult the ball in, maybe for one last chance for Queen's Park Rangers in front of their own supporters. Headed up in the air by Souček, but still inside the penalty area. Still not clear yet, and then volleyed away by Freddie Potts, and he's cleared over halfway, and then it's headed back to Walsh, the goalkeeper, who's being put under pressure by Somerville, but is able to bowl it out to his right-hand side.
This is going to be a Hail Mary.
Well, it has to be, doesn't it? One added minute, and we're into that already. Souček, he let the ball bounce inside his area, but probably got a shout from his goalkeeper, Hermansen, with Morgan lurking.
Do you know what? I don't think he did. I think that was Souček telling to Hermansen that I've got it guided. Morgan's in front, I'm in front of Morgan, I'm just going to let it roll across my body, you better come out and get it. I think that was Souček actually taking responsibility.
Miscued clearance by Joe Walsh, who I'm not sure completely wanted the back pass that was sent his way. It's with Somerville, 30 seconds to go. Potts is down, I think, with a little bit of cramp, but quickly gets back to his feet. But it's West Ham in possession with Rodriguez, and if they can just keep the ball here, then it will be them into the hat for round 4 on Monday, live on Drive, and that draw for the next stage of the competition. Goalkeeper Joe Walsh with one last punt upfield for QPR, headed clear by Tadibo. Can't get the ball back here, Queen's Park Rangers, although they do in the end. After Castellanos was shrugged off it, here's Kone grappling with Kilman. Was he fouled on the near touchline? Yes, he was. So it's going to be a free kick for QPR. 5 yards shy of the penalty area as Crescencio Somerville is announced as man of the match on the giant television screens at either side of the London Stadium. Everybody, including the goalkeeper Walsh, has come forward. That's just about all we haven't had this weekend in the FA Cup, is a goalkeeper making himself the hero with a goal. He couldn't, could he? It's going to be Madsen with one last ball into the West Ham penalty area. 2-1 QPR trail. This will be the last kick of the game. Decent delivery. Cook was up there. It's clear. And there's the full-time whistle. Finally, these West Ham fans have something to sing about. Their first victory in any competition for more than 2 months. Only their 5th here at home in a calendar year. But Nuno Espirito Santo celebrates with his players. They were locked level at 1-1 after normal time, after Richard Kone's second half header and countered out Crescencio Somerville's opener. But Somerville creating the winner in extra time. A brilliant turn on the edge of the penalty area before laying it on a plate for Tati Castellanos to score his first West Ham goal. And for the first time in 3 years, West Ham have made it safely through to the 4th round of the FA Cup.
And you have to say it's deserved, Crookie, because when you're looking for players to take responsibility and have a little bit of inspiration when your team is really, really struggling for confidence, you want players to step up. And exactly what Crescencio Somerville has done for West Ham here this afternoon at London Stadium, because he scored the first goal. Really well crafted move from West Ham down their right hand side from Bowen into Pablo, into Magasu, squared it, then to Somerville, smashed it past Wolves, give him no chance. Took West Ham 1-0 up in the 10th minute of added on time in the first half. Then you think about QPR were far too passive in the first half. They come out in the second half, they're a lot more aggressive, they got on the front foot, they started to snap into tackles, and then they put West Ham under pressure, and a bit of quality from Dembele, left-footed cross, Kone getting a really good glancing header, giving Hermansen absolutely no chance of West Ham's goal. That was in the 65th minute, Crookie, and then you think that the impetus has swung and QPR are going to go on and win the game. Apart from the next 5 minutes, they sat back. I think they didn't have any energy, they had nothing left in their legs. And then you're looking, when you go into extra time, who's got that reserve to go on and go beyond, and exactly what Crescencio Somerville did. Brilliant turn on the left-hand side, and Benge actually had a mission to get back into the stadium again. And it was a brilliant cross from Somerville, and Castellanos at the far post. Excellent centre forward's header downwards, give Walsh absolutely no chance. And then QPR had nothing left in the tank, Crookie. West Ham just saw the game out quite easily. Rodriguez come on and sat in front of the back four and just made sure he kept the ball. So I think there was obviously positivity at the final whistle here, Crookie, but I think it was more relief from West Ham fans that they've actually got something to smile about, and they hope that that momentum might swing, might change, because they have a massive game next Saturday, obviously against Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
So a reminder of how it finished elsewhere on this FA Cup third round Sunday, live on Talksport. Derby 1, Leeds 3. Arsenal came from behind to beat Portsmouth by 4-1. It's Manchester United 0, Brighton 1 at half-time on Talksport. Norwich beat Walsall 5-1 at Carrow Road. Mansfield with a shock of the day, the League Two side winning 4-3 away at Sheffield United. They've gone to penalties. Hull against Blackburn and Swansea against West Bromwich Albion. In Scotland, Hearts beat Dundee by 1-0 to go 6 points clear at the top. But Rangers at halfway to halving that deficit to 3. They lead by 1-0 at managerless Aberdeen. And here at the London Stadium, Castellanos, the new hero for West Ham United, as they beat Championship Queen's Park Rangers after extra time by 2-1. Next up, here on Talksport 2, we've got NFL Live with Nat Coombs.